And then, to top everything off, the klutz drops his rifle right on the captain's foot. Right on his foot.
No kidding. What did you say to him?
I didn't have to say anything. The captain said it all for me.
Sometimes you wonder where they come from, huh?
Where do they come from? Oh, yeah, we sure get them, don't we?
Yeah, like that prize I got, Pyle. PFC Gomer Pyle. When it comes to hopeless cases, he's the king.
And you've had him since boot camp, right?
I've had him up to here since boot camp.
Well, sure. That's why Vince is getting prematurely gray.
You want to hear some knucklehead Pyle stories? You got a few days?
Hey, Vince, speak of the devil.
You see? Wait, I'm about to add to that collection. Pyle, you knucklehead, what's the matter with you? Don't you know the NCO club's off limits to privates? What are you doing here anyway?
Yes, sir, and I hate to disturb you, but I got an important question to ask you, Sergeant.
Pyle, for your sake, it better be important. In fact, it better be close to an emergency.
Well, I don't know whether it's an emergency or not, but here it is anyhow. Would it be all right if...
Get over here. Now, what is it?
Well, would it be all right just for tonight if me and Private Slater switched bunks?
Huh?
You see, Private Slater's got this special guard duty, 2 hours on and 2 hours off. Well, you see, he's got this upper bunk and I got the lower bunk. Well, it'd be a whole lot more convenient for him during his 2 hours off if he just slipped into the lower bunk instead of climbing into the upper bunk.
You came over here to ask me that? That was the important question?
Well, in case you come looking for me later on and looked in the lower bunk and I wasn't there, not knowing that I was sleeping in the upper bunk, which is Duke's, and my bunk is the lower bunk, but just for tonight, the upper
Pyle,
bunk...
will you get out of here? Just get out of here. Sleep up, sleep down. I don't care if you sleep on top of a flagpole. Just get out of here and don't ask any more stupid questions. Out, 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 out! You won't believe this. You just won't believe it.
What, Vince?
You know what that knucklehead came over here to ask me? Not bad, Slater. Pyle, what is it? What's that smell?
Well, this, it's a sachet, a balsam sachet made out of real balsam pine.
A sachet?
Uh-huh. It's real good for clearing up head miseries whenever you get a cold. All you do is take a deep sniff and...
Knock it off! Pyle, a sachet is not regulation. A sachet has never been regulation. Therefore, you do not now, nor will you ever have a good reason to have a balsam sachet in your footlocker. You understand?
Yes, sir.
What's this doing there?
That? Well, that's a good luck troll.
Troll? A good luck troll?
Yes, sir. That's supposed to keep you from getting that cold that the balsam sachet is supposed to clear up.
Pyle, what are you, a Marine or a medicine man? This isn't a footlocker. It's a traveling salesman sample case. Now, you get rid of all this junk, you hear me? I want it all out. Everything I see and smell and everything I can't see and smell. I want everything. That is not regulation. Wait a minute. Where's your rifle?
My rifle?
Yeah, your rifle. That long metal thing with a wooden handle. The thing you eat, sleep, and breathe with. The thing you're not supposed to let out of your sight for 1 second. Your rifle.
Oh, I know that, Sergeant.
Well, where is it? Where is it?
Well, I loaned it to Private O'Neill over in Company A.
You loaned it? You loaned your rifle? Pyle, do you realize you could be thrown out of the Corps for this?
Well, it was just for an hour until he got his back from ordnance. You see, he got this special honor guard duty.
I don't care if he's got a pipeline to heaven. Pyle, that is your rifle, and you better get it back right now, this minute, or I'll have you court-martialed for sure. Now move it.
Yes, sir. I'll be real firm. Don't you worry.
A good luck troll.
You know, they ain't such good luck after all. Do you know how many colds I've had this year?
Get out of here! Sachet bags, good luck trolls, no rifle.
He's really getting to you, isn't he?
Getting to me. I got news for you. He's already there.
Hey, you know something? You could use a furlough. A little vacation, that's what I think.
Oh, sure.
Well, I mean it, Vince. Pyle is no different last week than he was last year. The reason he's getting to you is you're overwrought.
What's that?
Overwrought? Overtired, overworked, overwrought.
And you know who it is that's rotting me over.
That's what I say. Time to get away for a while.
Nah, I don't think I could swing it. I got too much to do.
Well, it was just an idea.
Wait a minute. Yeah, of course. If you can't take Muhammad away from the mountain, the only thing left to do is to take the mountain away from Muhammad.
I don't think you got that right.
Who cares? Whatever it is, I got a brainstorm.
What are you talking about, Vince?
Don't you get it? Maybe I can't go on a vacation, but Pyle can if I give him a furlough.
A furlough? 2 seconds ago, you wanted to kill him. Now you want to do him a favor.
Not him, me. I'm gonna do me a favor by getting rid of Pyle any way I can.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be just like a vacation being away from him. Huh? Smart. Here, get to work on his papers. Come on the double.
Okay, Vince.
Yeah. I don't know about Pyle, but this is one vacation I'm really looking forward to. Well, type.
Hey, Sergeant.
Hello, Pyle. You know, Pyle, I've been watching you.
And I don't blame you one bit, Sergeant, especially after the way I provoked you this morning at the inspection by not having my rifle. But don't you worry, I got it back now.
I could throw the book at you. You know that, don't you? But you know something, Pyle? Looking at you right now, I don't see the knucklehead I thought I'd see.
You don't?
No. I see a tired Marine.
Tired?
That's right.
Well, now that you mention it, I was stirring around a little more than usual last night. That happens every time we have MC rations, especially if it's ham and lima beans. They just don't
No,
seem-
that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, you've been pushing too hard lately. The pressure's catching up to you. You're jumpy, edgy, all tensed up.
I am?
That's right, Pyle. You're as tense as they come. And a tense Marine is a bad Marine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, Sergeant, but it's funny, I don't feel a bit tense. As a matter of fact, I feel real relaxed. Policing up always relaxes me.
Pyle, you're tense, you hear me? You're tense. You just don't know it.
Well, if you say so, Sergeant.
Okay. So in the interest of keeping the platoon razor sharp in all departments, I hereby authorize you a 1-week furlough, effective immediately. Here.
Furlough? But, Sergeant, I know you're just looking after my well-being, but I don't need no furlough.
Well, look, Pyle, you want to be a good Marine, don't you?
Yes, sir, you know I do.
Then just take the furlough and don't ask questions.
But wait a minute, Sergeant. I don't want to go on no furlough.
Well, that's just tough. You need it, so you're going to take it. You hear me? If you're so stupid you don't know you're going to pieces, well, that's your problem. But you're going on leave, and that's that. You read me?
Well, yes, sir, but I'm still not too sure why.
Because you are tense. You hear me? T-E-N-S-E. Tense.
Boy, of all the lucky breaks.
Gomer, I still can't figure out how you swung it.
I didn't swing nothing.
Then how did you get the furlough?
Sergeant Carter said it's because I was tense. The only thing is, I don't feel tense. Do you think I look tense?
You're about as tense as a bowl of spaghetti.
That's what I tried to tell Sergeant Carter, but he just wouldn't listen.
You know, Gomer, for a guy with one foot in heaven, you sure don't look too happy.
Well, I just don't relish leaving here. No, sir, not one bit.
What's the matter? Don't you have enough dough to get back home? Is that it?
Well, that's just part of it. Fact is, I just don't want to go.
Why, for Pete's sake?
Well, back home just ain't home no more. This is my home now, right here on the base. Sure got friends back home, but this is the place I've been living and working, and, well, this is my home now.
Well, Coleman, it's only for a week.
And I'm gonna miss you fellers. I really am.
You know, Frankie, I think Gomer's a lot tenser than he looks.
Gomer, I think you could use a furlough.
And you know who I'm gonna miss most of all? I'm gonna miss Sergeant Carter.
I take that back. I think you could use a doctor. Come on, Gomer, let's go.
Just a minute, Private. Okay, fellas.
Who's that? Certainly not Marines.
No, they're civilian work personnel. They work on the base.
Well, I knew we had civilians working on the base. I just never seen them in a group like that.
Here you are. Have fun.
Huh?
Well, have fun. You're going on furlough, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, can anybody get a job here on the base, even a Marine?
Sure, I guess so, if you've got the time.
Shazam!
Hey, how's this, huh?
Fine. What's funny?
Nothing's funny. I'm just happy.
Oh, Pyle.
Yeah, Pyle. 1 whole week he's gonna be gone. I just can't believe it.
It's already showing on you, Vince. You're so relaxed, I hardly recognize you.
Yeah, really got something to celebrate tonight. Hey, 2 beers over here. Put your dough away. This is my party.
Yeah, you really are a changed man.
Surprise!
Huh?
Surprise, surprise, surprise!
What are you doing here?
Tending bar. And when I seen it was you, Sergeant, I made sure to fill up the glasses real careful like, so you wouldn't be paying for a lot of foam. You know, some bartenders ain't even conscientious. They just open up that tap.
Hold it!
Yes, sir.
Pyle, what are you doing here?
Yeah, we thought you were on leave.
I am. I've already used up one entire day, too.
But you're here on the base. Why?
Well, just like you see, I got me a civilian job as a substitute bartender.
You what?
Now I can be on furlough and still be near you and my other friends.
Can you believe it?
Yes, sir. I never thought a man could be so lucky. Well, gentlemen, Skull, they say that a lot here.
Pyle! Man, you stupid! Look what you've done!
Don't you worry, though. I'll have you cleaned up in just a jiffy. They say that beer don't stain nothing like hard liquor, though.
What are you, gum on my shoe or something? Get away from me, Pyle. I don't need your help.
Yes, sir. I don't blame you a bit, neither. It was just plain foolish of me to put that beer where your elbow was sure to hit it. I sure am sorry, Sergeant.
Do you like my luck, huh? I get him a few days furlough. A few precious days without him bugging me. And what happens? He shows up as a civilian. There's no escape. There's just no escape. Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here before he flips me in an early grave.
Excuse me, Corporal.
Oh, Pyle. You're taking a big chance showing your face around here after last night.
Well, I won't be but a second. I just wanted to give you this to pass on to the sergeant.
Request for transfer?
I figure he can arrange it while I finish out the rest of my furlough.
You sure you want to do this, Pyle?
I am. On account of Sergeant Carter's the last person in the world that I'd want to make unhappy. And since that's what I did last night was to make him unhappy, then I know it's time for me to clear out.
Look, maybe you ought to take a little time. You know, think this thing through.
No, I know the sergeant. He likes everything just right. And if everything's just right for him without me around, then that's the way I want it.
Huh? Okay. If you got your heart set on it, I'll put it through.
I'd be much obliged. Excuse me, Sergeant.
What are you doing here? Don't you know an orderly room's off limits to civilians?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry. I just left something for you with the corporal.
Okay, you left it. Now get out of here.
Here. Here's what he left.
Huh? A transfer?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. This is great. No, it's better than great. This is sensational.
You mean you're going to approve it?
You bet I am, like I never approved nothing before. Come on, let's put this thing in the works. Quick, before somebody pinches me and wakes me up. Come on, let's go. All right, let's look alive. This is supposed to be an inspection, not a Boy Scout jamboree. Move it. Inspection! Hey! Look at this weapon. It's okay. Whose footlocker is that? It ain't even out. Well, whose is it?
That's Pyle's footlocker, Sergeant.
Oh.
Platoon!
Halt! Well, how'd they do?
Not bad, not bad. Minute behind the base record. Not bad. Not great. I might say pretty good.
Yeah. Well, if Pyle had been here, they never would have even done that good.
Talking about guys freezing. Remember that stunt Iron Pants Milliken pulled back at 53?
The forced march in nothing but our skivvies? How could I forget?
Remember that, Vince?
What?
The forced skivvy march back at 53.
Yeah, I remember it. Well, it was 1955.
No, you're wrong, Vince. It was 53.
Definitely.
Yeah, Vince, 53.
Don't tell me. You're calling me a liar. I remember it. It was 1955.
Come on, Vince.
What's with you?
Yeah, what are you yelling at us for?
I'm not yelling. Am I yelling?
If something's bugging you, don't take it out on us. That's what those bonehead privates are for.
Are you telling me how to run my business?
Well, somebody ought to. Maybe we ought to find a more peaceful table. It's getting a little too hard-nosed for me.
Fine. That's just fine with me.
Well, okay. Let's go.
Well, go on. Join your buddies. I don't need you. I need you like I need that knucklehead over there.
What's the matter with you, Vince?
Are you deaf? I said I didn't need you.
Look, Vince. Pyle's been gone almost a week already, but it just don't seem to make any difference.
What are you getting at?
Well, look at you. You're as jumpy as a cat.
Okay, so I'm jumpy. So what?
Well, it just don't make any sense. Figure it out for yourself. Now, Pyle's coming back from a furlough and he's transferring to another outfit. He'll be out of your hair for good.
So?
So, if anything should make you happy, that should, right?
Well, I'll tell you what bugs me. Pyle came to me a raw-nosed recruit. I worked on him all through boot camp and after. I yelled myself hoarse getting him squared away. And now he's transferring out. Huh? That's gratitude.
Well, I don't know. I never saw a guy who hated to leave an outfit as much as he did. Usually when a guy transfers, it's because he hates his sergeant.
Excuse me, would you like something else? A couple of beers, maybe? I mean, they'd be on me. Kind of a farewell present, since I'll be clearing out tomorrow.
No, we're fine, Pyle, but thanks anyway.
Don't mention it. Don't mention it at all. Bye, Sergeant.
See what I mean? Nothing keeps him down. He's loyal to you to the end.
Loyal, huh? He's transferring out, ain't he? That's gratitude.
Vince, he's transferring out because you don't want him around. He'd rather get out of your hair than make you miserable. You do want him out, don't you?
All I can say is that's gratitude. About the transfer orders the colonel signed yesterday for a private Gomer Pyle?
Oh, yes. What about them?
Well, sir, I know it sounds crazy. Yes, sir. For the first time in my life, I put a man's personal wishes above the good of the entire outfit, and, well, it just ain't working out, sir.
Well, that's very interesting, Sergeant. But don't you think it's a little late to be telling me all this?
Well, I thought you could still countermand the order, sir, considering it's a question of platoon morale.
This man Pyle is that important to you?
No, sir. He's not important.
Then what?
Well, sir, it's kind of hard to explain. You see, he's kind of like a spark to the platoon morale. Yes, sir, that's it. He's like a spark.
You mean he more or less stands out?
Oh, yes, sir. There ain't a day goes by I don't single him out for one thing or another.
Well, it's a bit irregular, but I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, sir. It'll be good having him back. I mean, as the spark.
Those are my transfer papers, Sergeant. You didn't have to bother yourself bringing them over here. I was going to come and get them.
No trouble at all, Pyle.
Not that I don't appreciate you bringing them. I'm real glad you did. Gives me a chance to say goodbye for the last time.
I got news for you, Pyle. You're not saying goodbye to nothing except these transfer papers. That's right, Pyle. Just like this, see? Into nice little pieces.
You mean I ain't being transferred out?
That's right, Pyle. Affirmative. You should know by now that nobody but nobody transfers out of my outfit unless I tell them to. You got that?
I sure have. And I'm real glad to hear you say that, Sergeant. You know something? I never did want to transfer out.
Knock it off and get that gear stowed away.
I sure will. Since I ain't gonna be leaving everything.
Pyle, of all the knuckle-headed, pea-brain bird...
I'm sorry, Sergeant.
Pyle, do you know what you did? I'll tell you what you did. You struck a non-commissioned officer. That's what you did. And that's the last straw. You hear me, Pyle? The last straw. Of all the knuckle-headed, bird-brained, pea-headed... Do you see those stripes on my arm, Pyle? Do you see them? Look at them real good, because you're going to see them from now until doomsday. Now, you listen to me, and you listen to me good. Since you came back from furlough, you've not done one thing right. Not one thing. But that's all gonna change now. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir, Sergeant. I hear you real good. You don't slur a bit like a lot of platoon leaders. Every word's loud and crisp. And Sergeant, thank you.
Thank you? For what?
Well, thank you for the kind of time and trouble you take with me. Nobody except a real good friend would do that.
Friend? Friend? Well, I'm not your friend. I've never been your friend. I am your enemy, Pyle, your enemy. We are at war, you and me, and I'm gonna make sure you never forget it. You hear me?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
How do you do it, Gomer?
Do what?
Well, what kind of combination is that? Chili beans and a chocolate soda.
It's delicious. You see, the chili beans is kind of tingly, and the soda's real creamy and smooth. It's been one of my favorite combinations since I was a boy.
You know, someday they're going to call out the demolition squad for you because you're going to blow up like a bomb.
Oh, Frankie.
It's cold. That's what's wrong with it. What did you do? Let it sit out in the kitchen for 10 minutes before you brought it out?
I brought it to you hot. It's not my fault you let it get cold.
Then whose fault is it that I don't have a napkin? And my water glass has been empty for the last 10 minutes. Listen, sweetheart, I got news for you. You got a lot to learn about waiting on tables.
Well, Sergeant Henchley, there are a dozen other restaurants you can go to if you don't like this one. And it won't hurt my feelings one bit if you leave.
Boy, that Henchley, how'd you like to be in his platoon?
Murder. No wonder they call him the Beast.
Well, it fits him. He makes Carter look like Mother Goose.
I don't see how anybody can talk like that to Miss Ginger. She's so nice.
How's everything here, boys? Want some more coffee?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, me too.
Would you like some coffee, Gomer?
Oh, no, thank you very much. It was certainly kind of you to ask. Everything was just perfect. My chili beans was just as nice and hot, and my chocolate soda was just as nice and cold, and the service was just wonderful, wasn't it, fellers?
Yeah, very nice.
And the silverware and the glassware was just sparkling.
Thanks.
I don't know when I've enjoyed a meal as much.
Thanks.
And Miss Ginger, if I was you, I wouldn't take it too much to heart.
What?
You know, some people just don't know no better.
Oh, Sergeant Henchley.
Yeah, hey, how come you take all that guff from that loudmouth?
That loudmouth is my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
You mean you go steady with the Beast?
Oh, that's all right. I know they call him that.
Well, he sure doesn't talk to you like he was your sweetheart.
Oh, he sounds off a lot. I guess he's just practicing up for the day when we get married.
Ah, that does it. I've had it. Ginger, come here.
Now, what's the matter?
Well, I just want to tell you that you're betting 1,000, sweetheart. The steak was tough, the soup was cold, the salad was soggy, and the coffee was boiled.
Well, I didn't know you were such a gourmet.
I'm getting out of here. I mean, this place is ridiculous. You know, eating here is like playing Russian roulette. I'm going.
Well, go. Go.
All right, I will.
That's terrible, just terrible talking to a lady that way.
Boy, what a lovely guy he is. You know, somebody ought to take a poke at him.
Well, it better not be you. It'll be the last poke you ever took. He'd break into 7 pieces, 1 for each day of the week.
Well, what do you say we get out of here and head back for the base?
All right, let's go. Come on, Gomer, you ready?
I tell you, fellas, I think I'll just stay around here for a while. You go on back if you want to, and I'll see you later.
Why? What are you going to do?
Well, I think I'll just hang around and maybe have another bowl of chili beans and another soda.
Are you kidding?
I just can't sleep if I'm hungry.
All right. Here, this ought to take care of ours.
See you fellas later.
Okay, go.
Hey, Miss Ginger.
Hello, Gomer. What are you doing here?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I was waiting for you.
You were?
Well, I thought maybe you might like to have somebody walk you home.
Oh, well, thanks, but I can walk home by myself, thank you.
Oh, I know you can. I'm sure you can, but I thought maybe you might be a little upset.
Upset? About what?
Well, about what happened in there with Sergeant Hinchley a little while ago.
Oh, well, I'm used to that. It happens pretty often.
Well, I don't think you ought to walk home alone. It's bad when folks that are upset are alone, because then all they got on their mind is upset thoughts to think about. Sure you don't want some company?
Well, all right, Gomer. Let's go.
Poor thing, she was so fat that one time she went to make a phone call and she got stuck in the booth and couldn't get out.
Oh, that's awful. What did she do?
Well, she screamed for somebody to give her another dime and she called the fire department. She was fat, but she sure had a head on her shoulders.
Well, this is it. And Gomer, I really enjoyed the walk.
You mean you're feeling better now?
Oh, yes, much better.
Well, I'm sure glad to hear that.
Gomer, you know something? You're really a very nice person.
You mean 'cause I walked you home? Shoot, that was my pleasure. And I just want to say that anytime that you're feeling down and don't want to be alone, you just let me know.
Well, thanks. Maybe I'll do that.
Well,
I really appreciate it. Good night.
Night, Ginger. I'm sorry, fellas. Somebody left their bucket out. I'm sorry.
Is that you, Gomer?
Yeah, it's me, Duke.
You're just getting in. Where you been?
Well, I waited around the cafe until Ginger got off, and then I walked her home.
Ginger? You walked her home? Are you out of your mind?
Well, why? What's wrong with that?
She's Hinchley's girl. He'll tell you in half.
Well, I don't know why. It wasn't a must she walked home. It was just a friendly walk home. And even if she wasn't Hinchley's girl, wouldn't be nothing serious.
Well, you're just lucky he didn't catch you. I'll talk to you about it in the morning. In the meantime, if I were you, I'd keep this whole thing quiet.
Well, it was just a friendly act, is all.
Gomer, I'm trying to tell you, she's Hinchley's girl. You heard him tonight. You know why they call him the Beast? You know what he can do to you?
Well, what can he do to me?
He can kill you. That's what he can do to you. Now, I'm warning you. Be quiet and stay away from her.
Be quiet.
I said I'm sorry. It was just a friendly act, is all.
Here you are, fellas.
What did he order? A chocolate sundae, the same thing we ordered.
Well, the ice cream was hard when I made yours, but it softened up when I made his.
Golly, you all got little bitty sundaes, didn't you? You want part of mine?
No thanks, Gomer. We hate soft ice cream. Let's get our checks and get out of here, okay? Ginger? Ginger, can we have our checks, please?
Sure. One chocolate sundae, 45 cents. One chocolate sundae, 45 cents.
Oh, wait a minute. Where's his check?
Oh, his is on the house.
Huh?
Gomer was our 100th customer today. Congratulations, Gomer.
Golly, ain't that lucky, fellers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite people.
Hope you don't behave as badly as you done last night.
Hello, Arthur.
Tip me off, sweetheart. What's going to be bad tonight, the food or the service?
Arthur, don't start that.
Why? Did anything change? It was rotten last night. It's going to be rotten again tonight.
Then why did you come back?
I thought I'd give this dump another shot. You know, best out of 3.
Arthur, you know something? I found out something about you.
Yeah, what's that?
You're crude. Crude. I found out that all people don't have to act the way you act, that some people can be gentlemen. You're crude.
What do you mean?
I found out something else, Arthur. The way you treat me, you upset me an awful lot. Take last night, for instance. You know what I would have done last night after what you did? I would have gone home and cried myself to sleep. But last night was different. I found out that some people can be kind and gentle and understand how a girl feels. They don't have to be crude. You're crude.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how you don't have to wait around for me till I finish tonight.
Huh?
And you can forget about tomorrow night, too, while you're at it. Maybe you'll learn how not to talk so fresh to me.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. Here. And we're all out of the veal goulash. Gomer.
Hey, Miss Ginger.
Gomer. Remember what you said last night about if I ever felt low and needed company to call on you?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I sure do.
Well, I was wondering, would you like to take me to a movie tomorrow night?
Me? Well, I'd be glad to. Hey, there's a Hercules movie on. Would you like to see that?
Oh, I'd love to.
Well, good. You really ought to go with somebody. On account of nobody ought to see a Hercules movie alone.
Fine. You can pick me up around 7:30. I get off early tomorrow night.
Wait a minute. Gomer, aren't you on guard duty tomorrow night? And you have KP, Gomer. You're going to be all tied up.
Oh, no, not me, fellers. I'm free as a bird.
Good. I'll see you tomorrow night, Gomer.
Gomer, what's the matter with you? She's Hensley's girl. What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm not trying to do nothing except be friendly to somebody that needs a friend. What's wrong with that?
Well, Sergeant Hensley, what'll it be tonight? Stuffed bell pepper?
Now, look, are you trying to tell me you got a date with someone else?
Or perhaps the Irish stew. That's very nice.
Who's the guy? Tell me who he is and I'll tear him in half.
Arthur, keep your voice down. You're getting very shrill. Oh, good night, Gomer. See you tomorrow night.
Night, Miss Ginger. 7:30, huh?
Is that the guy? You going out with that creep? That miserable creep?
Arthur, don't be crude. You're very crude.
Ah, you owe me 14 grand, Sarge.
Well, I'll get even, don't worry.
I'll settle for $1.40 cash.
You got a deal.
Okay, where's the $1.40?
You'll get it payday. You get off my back.
Hey, Carter.
Hello, Ainsley. What's on your mind?
Listen, Carter, I want to tip you off to a little something. Your platoon is going to be one man short if you don't wise up one of them privates of yours.
Huh? What private? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about that long, skinny guy with the goofy face.
What long, skinny guy with a goof? You mean Pyle?
Whatever his name is, he's in your platoon. So I think it's only fair to tell you first.
Yeah? What'd he do?
I'll tell you what he did. He's been hanging around that place where my girl works. He's trying to move in on my girl.
Are you kidding?
No, and you better talk some sense to him, Carter, or else he's gonna wind up in the hospital.
I don't believe it. Gomer Pyle is moving in on your girl? What do you think of that, Boyle? Pyle is taking his girl. Boy, you must be just loaded with charm if a guy like Pyle can cut you out.
Listen, Carter, I'm not kidding. You tell that fathead to stay away from my Ginger, or...
I think he saw her. And boy, I sure wouldn't want to be the guy he was saw at.
What do you think of that, Boyle? Gomer Pyle is moving in on the beast. I don't believe it.
Listen, you better warn Pyle. That guy's liable to kill him.
Yeah. Pyle could get killed, and Hensley could get busted for killing him, and there could be happiness here for everybody. But on the other hand, I am Pyle's sergeant. You know, Boyle, it's a complicated world. A complicated world. Well, you going into town, Pyle?
Right, Sergeant. I'm going to the movie.
You wouldn't happen to be going with a cute little waitress that works at the Bluebird Cafe by the name of Ginger?
Well, Sergeant, how'd you know?
Never mind. Now, look, Pyle, what you do off the base is your own business, understand? I don't like to interfere. But on the other hand, as your sergeant, it's my duty to keep you from getting killed or seriously injured, right?
Right, Sergeant,
Moving in on another guy's girl can be dangerous, especially when the guy's Hensley. He could rip you to shreds.
Moving in? But, Sergeant, I ain't moving in on nobody. I'm just taking Miss Ginger to the movies 'cause she asked me as a friend.
Look, Pyle, I don't care who, where, or why. I'm just telling you what Hinchley told me. Now, stay away from him.
But can he do that, Sergeant?
Can he do what?
Can he give you orders?
Who?
Sergeant Hinchley, can he tell you to tell me what to do?
Well, no, of course not. I'm just telling you, if you want to stay healthy, stop muscling in on his girl.
Muscling in, but I'm not muscling in on anybody. You see, it all started the other night when Miss Ginger got upset 'cause Sergeant Hinchley talked mean to her. I walked her home and told her if she ever needed a friend, she could count on me. You do the same thing, wouldn't you, Sergeant?
Well, I could.
But if Sergeant Hinchley gave you an order to give to me, then I don't rightly know what to do.
He didn't give me an order. I don't take orders from Sergeant Hinchley.
But you just said that Sergeant Hinchley told you to tell me...
He can't tell me to do anything. And he can't tell me to tell you to do anything.
But he did. He just...
Look, Pyle, you come with me.
Where are we going?
We're going over to see Sergeant Hinchley. Now, come on. Hinchley?
Yeah?
Pyle has got something to say to you. Go ahead, tell him, Pyle.
Well...
What he's got to say is it's a free country, and don't you ever forget it, Hinchley. And if he wants to take your girl out, he's going to take her out. Right, Pyle? Go ahead, tell him.
The way you feel about it, Pyle?
Yeah, that's the way he feels about it. That's exactly the way he feels about it. And not you or anybody else is going to make him change his mind. Right, Pyle? Go ahead, tell him.
Well...
I mean, you're going to go right on seeing my girl.
He means he'll see anybody he wants to see, won't you, Pyle?
Well...
Now, you let me give you a little advice, pal. If I were you, I'd think twice about trying to see Ginger again. I mean, if you want to stay healthy.
You think you can scare him, Hinchley? If you do, you got another thing coming. Pyle don't scare easy, do you, Pyle? Go ahead, tell him how you don't scare easy.
Well...
Now, you listen to me, Private. The only reason I'm not tearing you in half right now is because we're on the base. But let me warn you. That could be your head, Pyle.
Well, if you think you can make him back down, forget it. He just ain't made that way. And remember, Pyle is gonna go where he wants to go, do what he wants to do, and see who he wants to see. Right, Pyle? Come on. Listen, Pyle, you better stay away from that dame or he'll kill you.
I don't understand, Sergeant. Didn't we just tell him I was going to go where I wanted to go and do what I wanted to do and see who I wanted to see?
Well, that was for his benefit. For your benefit, you better stay away from his girl or he'll beat your brains out.
Over, Sergeant. Carter warned you, Hinchley warned you, and we're begging you. Tell her you can't take her tonight.
But I promised, and a promise is a sacred thing, especially to a girl.
But, Gomer, what if Hinchley catches you?
Then I just have to explain to Sergeant Hinchley that I was just being friendly. After all, if one person can't be friendly to another, then what's this world coming to?
But, Gomer...
Now, listen, you get the tickets, and I'll be right along with Ginger. And, you know, Sergeant Hinchley can't be too mad if all three of us take Miss Ginger to the movies. And this should prove to him that I got no interest in taking his girl away.
Yeah, maybe we'll all wind up in the same ward.
Go on, and I'll be back with Miss Ginger in just a few minutes. But, Ginger, I don't understand. You don't want to go to the movies? I thought that you said that you...
I know, Gomer. But you see, the only reason I asked you to take me was because I was angry at Arthur and I wanted to get back at him. I guess that wasn't a very nice thing to do to you, Gomer. Will you forgive me?
Well, that's okay. You had a right to be angry after the way he talked to you.
I know, but I was just being childish and spiteful.
Then are you all right now?
Oh, sure. You go along with your friends. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure now?
Uh-huh. If I know Arthur, he'll be along in a little while, and he'll shuffle and mumble around, and pretty soon we'll wind up at the movies just like we were going to in the first place. It's happened before.
Well, that sure makes me feel a whole lot better, knowing that you two are going to get back together.
Gomer, you are sweet. Thank you for being there when I needed you.
What is this?
Arthur!
Hey, Sergeant Hinchley, we was just talking about you. Ginger said that
You,
was...
out!
But there's something that you don't understand.
Oh, I understand, all right. Out!
But...
Out in the alley!
Arthur, please!
Sergeant Hinchley, couldn't we do this a little later on? There's some fellers waiting on me at the movies right now, and they say you should see this picture from the start. Oh.
Operator, I want the police. Tell them to come to the Bluebird Cafe. And you better tell them to bring an ambulance. Hurry.
Okay, Pyle, I warned you.
Well, Sergeant Hinchley, if you really want to fight, I guess I'll just have to do the best I can, but there's something you ought to know first.
Yeah, just put your hands up.
Okay, I'll put them up, but I think we're going to an awful lot of trouble for nothing.
Yeah? Well, what did I just see in there, huh? You kissing my girl, taking her to the movies. What, am I crazy?
Well, as far as the kiss goes, it was just a friendly kiss, and I wasn't taking her to the movies. She was going to take her to the movies.
Huh?
That's right. She's got no interest in me, Sergeant Hinchley, and I got no interest in her except as a friend.
What?
And you know something, Sergeant Hinchley, this whole thing's your fault.
What are you talking about?
It's true, Sergeant Hinchley. You put yourself in Ginger's place. There she is, working so hard, running back and forth all day long, on her feet all day in them little high-heel shoes. Did you ever try walking in them high-heel shoes? And what does she have to look forward to after a day like that? I mean, what's the bright spot in her life? I'll tell you, Sergeant Hinchley, it's seeing you and maybe getting a cheerful word or a nice smile. On account of you're the person that really counts in her life. But what does she get? She gets the very same abuse she gets from them strangers. If I was you, Sergeant, I'd walk right back into that restaurant and beg that sweet little thing to forgive me. If you still want me to put up my fist, well, all right.
I think we better get over there. I'm getting worried.
I knew we shouldn't have let him go alone.
Oh, hi, Sarge.
What's the matter? Wouldn't they let you in? Is it for adults only?
We're waiting for Gomer.
Yeah, and we're starting to worry that maybe something might have happened to him.
Yeah, why?
Well, he went over to the Bluebird Cafe to pick up Ginger, and then he was
Ginger? You mean that knucklehead was going to take her out after all? I warned him.
I did, too, but you know how stubborn he can be.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be here 15 minutes ago.
Eventually sees him, he'll kill him. Maybe that's what's happening right now. Come on.
So you see, I'm sorry, Ginger. I guess I just wasn't thinking, that's all. But I want you to know I'm sorry.
Oh, Arthur.
Go on, Sergeant Hinchley, tell her the rest of it.
Well, you see, I guess I just never realized what a hard job you've got. And walking around all day on those high heels. And how you look forward to a kind word from me at the end of the day.
Oh, Arthur.
So you see, honey, I'm not really crude, am I?
No, Arthur, of course you're not.
You see, Sergeant Hinchley, you see? One kind word, that's all she needed. That's all anybody needs.
You may have something there, pal.
It's the prettiest sight in the whole world. It's two sweethearts that have just made up. Bless you both.
Arthur.
Hey, what's that?
Maybe something happened.
Oh, no, I'm sure it's nothing. You boys just sit here. I'll get you some coffee.
Hey, Sergeant Hinchley, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go call Sergeant Carter on account of he thought that you'd be angry. I just want to tell him how nice everything turned out.
Okay, pal.
And so you see, Pat, it's all a mistake. Somebody thought there was going to be trouble, but it's all right now. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Wait a minute, I heard a siren. I know I heard a siren.
Holy mackerel, look at that. Hinchley beat us to it.
They're taking Gomer away in an ambulance.
Said he'd put him in the hospital. Come on. Hey! You two guys get a cab and follow that ambulance. I'm going inside to see what happened. Right, Sergeant?
Arthur.
Hinchley!
Hi, Carter. How are you, buddy?
You're still here, huh? How did you talk yourself out of it?
Huh?
Clobbering a poor, defenseless boob like Pyle. Well, I'm not gonna let you off so easy. Come on, Hinchley, get him up.
Now, what's wrong with you,
This
Carter?
is for Pyle.
Now, wait a minute.
This is for Pyle.
Now, hold on. You got this all wrong.
Come on, Hinchley, get him up.
Arthur, stop it!
Well, I'm trying.
Are you gonna...
I couldn't. Sergeant Carter, what are you doing here? I was just trying to call you on the phone. You know what? You was wrong about Sergeant Hinchley. I mean, about him being so mean and all that. Why, he's a gentle person. I mean, he's gruff, but he wouldn't hurt a flea. Sergeant Carter, you got a cold?
Aren't you done with that yet, Pyle?
I just won't get this little speck off the windshield here, Sergeant. Fish, you got any threes?
I've got one.
Good. I got a book.
Gomer, are you sure you don't know any other game?
I know how to play old maid, but you have to have special cards for that. You need the rabbits and the fireman.
Play, Gomer.
Fish, got any nines?
Fish.
Fish.
Fish, I got my wish.
Boy, what a way to spend a free Saturday. You know what I wish? I wish I had $10. You know where I'd be?
Where's that, Duke?
I'd be at that big crap game in town. It's been going on for a couple of days now, and there's more money changing hands than you've ever seen.
Yeah, I heard Sergeant Crabtree over in Company A won himself over $200.
200? I heard it was 300.
$300? Golly. Fish, you got any jacks?
Pyle? Is Pyle in here?
Right here.
You got a visitor down the rec hall.
A visitor?
Male or female?
Female.
Female? Hey, what's this, Gomer? You been holding out on us? She blonde or brunette?
Gray. It's his grandmother.
My grandma? You mean Grandma Pyle's here? Good gracious alive.
Gomer Pyle.
It's you. It's really you. Well, I hadn't seen you since before I left for the Marine Corps.
That's right. Over here. You left exactly a week before Vita Mae Devereaux had her last spell. Poor thing.
Yes, I'm sure sorry to hear about that.
Well, she was getting on. But do you want to hear something funny? Vita Mae had a sister in Fort Lauderdale who died of the very same thing. Isn't that funny?
Yes, ma'am, that's funny, all right. But tell me, Grandma, what are you doing here? You never did write and tell me you was coming. Won't we come over here and sit down?
I wanted to surprise you. I'm on a trip, Gomer, up to visit Eunice in Stockton.
Eunice?
Your cousin Eunice, on the Beasley side, married that fella with the funny eye. Well, she wrote off for me to come up, and I thought, shoot, why not? And while I'm going, I'll kill two birds with one rock and stop off to see you.
Well, I sure am glad you did, Grandma. I'm just delighted to see you.
Gomer, stand up and let me look at you. My, how they've stretched you out. You look awfully thin, Gomer.
Oh, but I'm solid, Grandma.
I don't know. You look pretty thin to me. You know what can happen? You can get thin and run down. It could lead to the rickets.
Oh, Grandma, nobody in the Marine Corps gets rickets.
Well, you won't get them while I'm here.
Huh?
Listen, Gomer, I'll tell you what we're going to do. You go wash your face and brush your hair, and I'm going to take you back to the hotel and buy you a nice big chicken dinner. How does that sound to you? You're free to leave, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, and I sure would like to visit with you, but I don't think I could eat a chicken dinner. I just ate lunch about an hour ago.
So what? You can eat again. Anybody flirting with the rickets has to eat often. You know what you can get from rickets, don't you? Bow legs.
Oh, Grandma.
You want bow legs?
No, ma'am.
Well, go on then and get cleaned up.
You
didn't finish.
Yes, I did, Grandma. I'm full.
If you don't finish it, they take it back in the kitchen and make hash out of it.
I just can't, Grandma.
All right.
You always did look out after me, though, didn't you?
I didn't want you to get the rickets.
You remember when I used to come by your house after school, and you'd give me fresh milk and spinach cookies, and then you'd tell my fortune with the cards?
Yes, we had some nice times, Gomer.
Sure wish you had your cards with you now.
What makes you think I don't?
You mean you do?
Right here in my purse.
Well, I'll be.
You want me to tell your fortune now, Sonny?
Well, golly, be just like old times.
All right.
What's that?
Oh, that's just some slippery elm for gum troubles. And, possum hair for the joint. Oh, here they are. I ain't been using these much lately, since so many of the young folks moved away. It's mostly young folks like to have their fortunes told.
God, if I had some milk and some spinach cookies, why, it'd be just like old times.
All right, here we go. Now, Keep your eye on the jack of spades, Gomer. That's you.
Well, didn't I used to be the jack of clubs?
Did you? Okay, then. Keep your eye on the jack of clubs. That's a good sign. Oh, yes, indeedy.
What is it?
A 9 followed by a 5 and a 2.
What's that mean?
That's 17, a lucky sign.
But ain't 9 and 5 and 2 16?
16 or 17. They're both lucky. See, they're in the favored circle. Anything from 15 to 18, especially if you're Jack of Diamonds.
But I'm Jack of Clubs.
Or Jack of Clubs. Oh, my.
Huh?
Maybe I better do this one over, Gomer. They didn't come out right this time.
Well, wait, Grandma. Does it say something bad? Tell me.
I'll deal them over, Gomer.
No. If something bad's gonna happen, you better tell me. It's best that I know.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe you should know. But I don't know if it'll do any good.
What is it?
Gomer, something bad is going to happen to somebody close to you. Someone near and dear to your heart.
Oh, no. Hope nothing's gonna happen to you, Grandma.
Oh, it probably won't be me, Gomer. I'm pretty well protected by my charms. It's somebody else close to you. Who else is close to you? Somebody here in the Marine Corps?
Well, there's Sergeant Carter. Gosh, I hope it's not Sergeant Carter.
Well, it don't say who it is, but that isn't the worst of it.
It's not?
No. The worst of it is, whatever's going to happen to your friend is going to be your fault.
My fault?
What is this? A barracks or a pig pen? It's really hard to tell. I see Marines, but then again, it might be just pigs in Marine uniforms. Did I hear anyone say oink? Did you say oink, Miller? Did you say oink, Dobrowski? Huh? All right, I'll give you guys exactly 15 minutes. What's this? Come on, who left their shoe out in the middle of the deck?
Could be mine, Sergeant. What size is it?
What size is it? Pyle, when? When are you gonna get your head out of a locker and shape up and be a Marine? I've been lenient with you, Pyle. I've been very lenient. But I'm only human. I'm not made out of steel. When you joined the Marines, you came in a knucklehead, and you've been going downhill ever since. I've had it with you, Pyle. Do you know what I'm gonna have to do, you knucklehead?
What's wrong, Sarge?
I can't talk. I've lost my voice.
What?
Do you guys realize what's happened? The Sarge lost his voice. And do you know who made him lose his voice?
Yeah, hey, Gomer, nice work. The sergeant lost his voice, and it's all due to you.
Oh, my. Grandma Pyle told me something like this gonna happen, and it did, just like the card said.
What?
Nothing. Oh, my good gracious.
What is it, Doc?
Well, it's not too serious, Sergeant. You've, strained your vocal cords. What have you been doing, Sergeant? Screaming a lot lately? Why do you do that, Sergeant? I thought after boot camp you cut down on your yelling.
I got this knucklehead that's...
Now, don't try to use your voice. You've overdone that already. Now, there's only one thing that's going to cure this. That's complete rest for 24 hours. Sergeant, I don't want you to say one single word until tomorrow. No talking, no whispering, nothing. Is that clear? Good. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Nothing.
Yes, sir, he's here, but he can't talk. No, sir, those are doctor's orders. Sergeant Carter strained his vocal cords. Yes, sir. Yelling at a private. He'll be taken care of, sir. Yes, sir, I'll tell him. That was Lieutenant Bradshaw. He said you ought to learn to talk softly and carry a big stick. And gargle a lot.
Hello, Sergeant Carter. May I come in? I just wanted to tell you that I sure am sorry about what happened. I know it's all my fault, but I just wanted to say if there is anything at all I can do to ease your discomfort, just don't hesitate to ask me. Get out before I kill you. Sergeant Carter? Ow! But, Sergeant... And then his face got all red, and he couldn't talk. And it was all my fault because it was my shoe that he got mad at.
Well, the cards told you. Remember how the cards told you?
Yes, ma'am, and I just feel terrible, though, because he had such a fine and clear voice. Why, when he'd call my name, you could hear him clear from one end of the base to the other.
Oh, it held together. Want to see who you're going to marry, Gomer?
Well, looks like a Q.
Oh, no, that's a no.
I don't know any girl whose name begins with O.
Oh, you will. Peeling on the floor knows who you adore.
Right, Grandma. Well, what am I going to do about Sergeant Carter? I just got to do something to help that poor feller.
Well, don't you worry, Gomer. I got something right here that'll fix him up. See, calabash root, good for indigestion. See, now, here it is. Yes, this ought to do it.
What is it?
My own mixture. Alum, molasses, and vinegar.
It's really good, huh?
Good. Wendell Kiefer took this all the years he sang in the church choir. You remember Wendell? He always had a bottle in his back pocket.
Well, okay, I'll see if I can't get him to take some.
Oh, sure, that'll do it. Just get one spoonful into him, and it'll make him feel as good as new.
Thank you, Grandma. I'll do that. I'll call you tomorrow.
This is rotten.
Corporal Ball, is Sergeant Carter around this morning?
No, he's in his bunk taking it easy. Doctor's orders. What do you want?
Well, can he talk yet?
No, not a word.
Then I wonder if you'd do me a favor, Corporal. Would you give this medicine to Sergeant Carter and ask him to take a spoonful of it?
Well, what is it?
Well, it's a remedy my grandma gave me. She's practically a miracle worker when it comes to things like this, and she said it'd fix the sergeant right up.
Pyle, are you kidding? Sergeant Carter wouldn't take any home remedies, especially if it came from you.
What's that?
He's banging his shoe. 3 bangs. He wants his coffee.
But this would do him so much good. Maybe you could convince him.
Forget it, Pyle. He wouldn't take any of your grandmother's medicines, and I wouldn't suggest it for $1 million.
But back home, Grandma Pyle's practically a doctor.
Forget it. No cream. Pyle, are you still here?
I was just going.
Good.
Well, give Sergeant Carter my best and tell him the love of the whole platoon is with him.
Here's your coffee, Sarge. I'll get it. Hello? Sergeant Carter's office. B Company. Corporal Boyle speaking. I'm sorry, Sergeant Carter isn't able to talk to anyone this morning.
Well, that's all right, Corporal. This is Commander Snyder. I'm calling to have him test his voice. Put him on, will you, please?
Oh, yes, sir, Commander. Hey, Sarge, doctor's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. He'll be here in a second, sir. Here he is now, sir.
Sergeant Carter, it's been 24 hours since you've used your voice, and I think you ought to try it. Now, don't raise your voice at all. Just take it easy and speak to me.
Hello, Doctor. Doctor.
Huh. I've never seen anything like this before. Your whole throat seems to have puckered up like an apricot. Oh, it's nothing serious, Sergeant. It's probably just something you ate or drank. As a matter of fact, the strain is entirely gone, oddly enough. And your voice is back. I see no reason why you can't go back to work.
Back to work? With this voice? The men had laughed their heads off.
Yes, I see what you mean. Well, then, just continue to take it easy. In a day or so, it'll return to normal.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Of course, if it doesn't, you can always join the Vienna Boys Choir.
Well, he's in sick bay. That's all I can tell you. Maybe he's getting his throat sprayed.
Well, is it all right if I wait here for him? I wanted to find out what the doctor said. Hey, Sergeant, we was just talking about you. But I wanted to find out what the doctor said.
Pyle, I think you better go.
Well, all right. But first, can you tell me if you can talk? You mean you can't? Well, I thought sure you'd be able to after you had some of Grandma's remedy.
What? What are you talking about, Pyle? What does that mean? After he took some of Grandma's remedy.
Well, it didn't work, so there ain't no point in talking about it.
Well, come on, Pyle. Let's hear it.
Corporal Boyle said that you wouldn't take it willingly, so I took the liberty of slipping a little in your coffee this morning. Did you notice that your coffee tasted a little funny?
Boyle.
Well, it wasn't nothing harmful. It was just some vinegar and alum and molasses.
You put that stuff in my coffee?
Hey, Speed, it's back. He got his voice back. It's back.
You lame brain. You numbskull. Ow, 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 I'll get you for this.
You see, Gomer, I told you his voice would come back.
But his voice sure is high, Grandma. Why is it so high?
How high is it?
Well, it's not even like a talking voice. It's more like a singing voice. You remember little Rosemary Pickett back home when she'd hurt herself? Well, it's kind of like that.
It's like Wendell Kiefer. He had a beautiful voice after one good dose. In fact, some folks thought he sounded like a boy soprano. That's what they said. He sounded like a 56-year-old boy soprano.
Well, the sergeant sure is high.
Well, that's right. That's the way it's supposed to be. Later on, it'll come down.
Well, high or low, it sure is good to hear his voice again, and it's all because of you.
Oh, it's nothing, Gomer, nothing. Have you finished with your tea, Gomer?
Yes, ma'am, and it sure was good. Thank you. I guess I better be getting back to the base now.
Oh, Gomer, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Your tea leaves, the way they're arranged. You stay here, Gomer. You can't leave this room.
What's wrong?
There's danger lurking. There's danger for anyone who's Taurus the bull. And you're Taurus, ain't you, April the 26th?
No, ma'am, not me, Grandma. My birthday's February 26th.
Pisces. Thank goodness. Because these leaves tell there's terrible danger today for anyone who's Taurus the bull. You know anyone who's Taurus the bull? Anyone born in May?
Well, there's my sergeant. Sergeant Carter, he was born May 4th.
May 4th. Gomer, are you sure?
Yes, ma'am. Why?
Sergeant Carter is the bull.
Really? He's Taurus the bull?
He's as Taurus as you can get.
Golly.
Gomer, you better warn him. Tell him to stay right where he is, because if he don't...
Sarge, we gotta find some place for you to relax. Now, you need... Hey, I got a great idea. Why don't you go to that crap game in town, huh? Did you hear about that, Vince? Sergeant Crabtree won over $400.
You want me to bet with this voice? You want me to say, shoot, I got you faded? Come on, little Joe from Kokomo. With this voice, they'll laugh me out of there.
You don't have to talk, Vince. All you have to do is shake the dice and throw your money out. Vince, you need something to take your mind off things. Hey, maybe you'll win a potful besides. Wouldn't that be something? Without saying a word, you come home the big winner? What do you say? Come on, it'll do you good. Win or lose, it'll do you good. Attaboy, Sarge. Go get dressed and go. Anybody ask any questions, tell him he got laryngitis and can't talk.
Yeah.
Good, Sarge, good.
Corporal Boyle, is Sergeant Carter here? I got to see him right away.
Well, he better not see you, Pyle. He'll break you right in half after what you did to him this morning.
But where is he? Is he here?
Pyle, you want to stay alive? Keep away from him.
But where is he? What's he doing?
He's getting cleaned up, okay?
What for? Why is he getting cleaned up?
Because he's going into town, Pyle, if that's all right with you.
Oh, no, he is? But he can't do that.
Pyle, you better get out of here. If he sees you, he's going to blow a fuse.
Oh, my.
Tough break, Sarge. But don't worry about the crap game. It'll be waiting for you. They've been playing for 3 days.
Boyle!
Yeah? What is it, Sarge?
My pants! Did you take my pants?
No. Why would I take your pants?
Well, what am I gonna do now?
Well, why don't you just wear your uniform?
My uniform? To go to a crap game?
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, Sarge. Borrow a pair of mine.
A pair of yours?
All set, huh, Sarge? That wasn't so bad, was it? Just go into town and don't worry about a thing. Who's gonna see your pants under a crap table?
Yeah, swell.
Guess you wonder what I'm doing with this carburetor in my hand, Sergeant. But I can explain everything.
You do that, Pyle. You explain, and then I'm going to kill you.
I done it for you. You see, you're Taurus the bull, and my grandma says you got to stay put or something terrible's gonna happen to you.
What?
So I couldn't let you go into town.
You?
Uh-huh. I flattened your tire. I took your pants. Anything to keep you from going into town on account of your Taurus, and if you did, something terrible was gonna happen. You see, it's a bad traveling day for your sign.
Are you finished, Pyle? Fine. Because now it's my turn, and I'm gonna...
Sergeant Carter! Vince! Hey, Vince! Hey, you didn't leave yet. It's a good thing. Boy, are you lucky.
Why?
I just got a call from Corporal Wood. That crap came in town. It was raided.
What?
Yeah, about a dozen cops came in and hauled everybody off to jail. Booked them all on gambling. Boy, if you'd have gone in when you started out, you'd have been picked up, too. It's a good thing all those things happened to hold you up.
But you were the one who...
Yep, it was me, all right.
But how did you know?
'Cause you're Taurus the bull, like I told you.
Holy smoke! That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
How about that? He knows I'm headed for trouble and...
Hey, Sarge, your voice. It's back. It's back.
Yeah. How about that?
That Grandma Pyle, she's a marvel, an absolute marvel.
Well, it sure is a pleasure meeting you, Grandma Pyle.
Thank you.
I don't mind telling you, you practically saved my life.
I'm happy it worked out the way it did. I know Gomer thinks a lot of you. He was sure anxious to protect you.
Sergeant Carter told me he used to never believe in things like fortune telling and good luck charms. But you sure changed your mind now, hadn't you, Sergeant?
Well, what can I say? Look what it did for me.
Well, I'm going to be leaving this afternoon.
Found him. Sidney was lounging on a log, the leather payroll bag still clutched in his jaws. Okay, Sidney, Jax whispered, holding out a peanut butter sandwich. Trade you. Sidney looked at the sandwich. He looked at the $62,000. He chose the peanut butter. Chapter 6. The Trial of the Century. Vane wasn't convinced. He held a formal trial, accusing Barnaby of stealing the money and using the alligator story as a cover. I demand a conviction, Vane shouted. There is no alligator. There is only a thieving junior associate. I object, Barnaby shouted, acting as his own lawyer. You can't call Sidney a lie. He has feelings. He had an unhappy childhood. Order, the judge yelled. Bumble, produce the evidence or go to jail. Suddenly, the doors to the courtroom swung open. Jax Miller walked in, leading a very large, very annoyed Sidney on a heavy chain. The alligator was wearing a tiny sailor hat. Behold the witness for the defense, Jax announced. The courtroom erupted. Sidney hissed. Vane climbed onto his chair, screaming like a terrified schoolgirl. Get that monster out of here. Vane shrieked. Not until he testifies, Jax said. He reached into Sidney's mouth and pulled out Director Vane's own wallet, which had also been stolen earlier that morning. Is this your wallet, Director? The judge asked, looking at the ID card inside. Yes, that's my wallet. Vane cried. And this bag? Jax held up the payroll bag. Vane looked at the alligator. The alligator looked at Vane. The judge looked at the evidence. Case dismissed. The judge ruled. It seems Xanadu Alpha is indeed a madhouse, but Barnaby Bumble is no thief. Epilogue. The sun set at Xanadu. As the sun set over the turquoise waters of Xanadu Alpha, Jax and the crew sat on the deck of the Whale, sipping cold drinks and watching Director Vane try to explain to Inspector Holloway why he had been seen dancing with an alligator in a sailor hat. You know, Jax, Barnaby said, feeding Sidney a scrap of teriyaki chicken. I think I'm really getting the hang of this officer thing. You're a natural, Barnaby, Jax laughed. A regular Clarence Darrow of the swamp. Wow, Barnaby sighed, looking at the princesses who were waving from the Sultan's departing yacht. Wow, wow, wow. Jax smiled and looked out at the horizon. It was a crazy war, and an even crazier life. But, as long as they had the Whale, a bit of luck, and a friendly alligator, the misfits of Xanadu Alpha would always stay one step ahead of the storm. The end. The Chaos of Zanzarite, a novel of maritime misadventures and tropical tyranny. Chapter 1. Lingerie and Legwork. Commodore Horatio. The Hulk Hammersmith was a man whose blood pressure was roughly the same as the steam pressure in an overheating boiler. He sat behind a mahogany desk in the most humid office in the southern hemisphere, clutching a bottle of antacids like it was a holy relic. Garter belts, Vance! Hammersmith roared, his face turning a shade of purple that matched the local orchids. I want to hear it again. Wow, 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 wow. Are you telling me the head nurse is demanding garter belts? Lieutenant Vance de Viper Vane, Hammersmith's perpetually nervous sycophant, snapped to attention so hard his heels clicked like a gunshot. Yes, Commodore. She says the humidity is ruining the structural integrity of their stockings. It's a supply crisis, sir. You are the supply officer of this god-forsaken rock, Zanzarite. Hammersmith slammed his fist down. If the nurses need garter belts, you snap to it. Shake a leg. Well, don't shake their legs, you know what I mean. This is a war, Vance. Everything is on my shoulders. My stomach acid could start a diesel engine. Vane winced. Sir, please, take it easy on the pills. You know how they give you that. Violent indigestion. I don't care. Hammersmith shrieked. Do you realize what a mess this place is? The sinks in the officers' club are backing up. The local monkeys have started stealing the mail. And now I get a message from a pal of mine at Central Command. High Commissioner Ironjaw Jenkins is arriving today on a sneak inspection. Vane turned pale. Ironjaw? The man who court-martialed a cook for undersalting a potato? The same. Hammersmith groaned, clutching his gut. He's coming here to nose around. If he sees the state of Zanzarite, I'll be demoted to lighthouse keeper on a sandbar. Suddenly, the phone rang. Hammersmith grabbed it. Hello? Yes, this is Commodore Hammersmith. Who did you expect to find? Tokyo Rose? What? The sinks are still backing up? I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber. Fix it yourself. He slammed the phone down and looked at Vane with a wild, desperate glint in his eyes. Wait. If I were sick, really sick, I wouldn't have to face the commissioner. I could appoint an acting base commander to take the heat. Vane nodded slowly, catching the drift. An excellent plan, sir. And who would you appoint? Surely not Lieutenant Pringle. Pringle? No, he's a boob, Hammersmith spat. I'm talking about Jax, Maverick Sterling. With Maverick and his gang of cutthroats in charge, they'll run wild and destroy themselves right in front of the commissioner. I'll be in the hospital, blameless, while Maverick gets shipped to a penal colony. It's brilliant. Number 4, Maverick, Getsy. Hammersmith suddenly collapsed into a chair, clutching his chest. Van, I think I'm going to faint. Call the medics. Tell them I'm dying. Quickly. Chapitre 2. De Malade Imaginaire. Commander Jax Maverick Sterling was currently supervising a high-stakes game of turtle racing behind the supply shed when the summons arrived. Jax was a man who wore his uniform like it was a suggestion rather than a rule. His crew, a collection of gamblers, moonshiners, and mechanical geniuses, followed him with a loyalty that bordered on the cultish. When they arrived at the base infirmary, they found Hammersmith propped up on pillows, looking like a man who had just swallowed a live porcupine. "Oh, Maverick," Hammersmith moaned, his voice a weak rasp. "I don't know. The tests are still coming back. I'm in bad shape. Bad shape." Lieutenant Barnaby Butterfingers Pringle, Maverick's well-meaning but disastrous executive officer, rushed to the Commodore's side. "Oh, you poor man. Here, let me adjust your pillow." Pringle grabbed the pillow and accidentally jerked Hammersmith's head back so hard the Commodore's teeth rattled. "Put it down! Push it down! You're breaking my neck!" Hammersmith shrieked, momentarily forgetting he was supposed to be dying. He regained his composure and slumped back. "Maverick, the medics don't know how long I'll be in here. I'm appointing you acting base commander." Maverick raised an eyebrow. "Me, sir? You must be kidding. I'm a saltwater skipper, not a desk jockey. I wouldn't think of asking you to do it alone," Hammersmith wheezed. "I'm appointing Pringle here as acting executive officer." Pringle's eyes lit up like Christmas trees. "Oh boy." "I know," Hammersmith whispered to Vane as the crew left. "This is going to be the happiest illness of my life." By tonight, Maverick will be in chains. Chapter 3: The Sultan and the Ceremonial Greeting. No sooner had Maverick taken the throne than the base descended into a unique brand of chaos. Pringle was busy trying to fix the plumbing by using a manual for an airplane engine, and the crew had turned the main courtyard into an open-air casino. Then came the message from High Command. Sultan Al-Zarar of the Sansans is arriving for a diplomatic visit. Ensure 100% protocol. When the Sultan's plane landed, Maverick and his crew stood in a line that was only moderately straight. The Sultan stepped out, flanked by his 3 daughters, who were veiled and looked exceptionally bored. Maverick stepped forward. "Greetings, Your Highness. I am Commander Maverick. We are here to serve you." The Sultan, a man of immense dignity, looked at the crew. "Are these men to be trusted? I travel with my most valuable cargo." He gestured to his daughters. Suddenly, one of Maverick's crewmen, Gully, blurted out, "Wow, wow, wow, wow." Like a chicken, the Sultan froze. His hand went to the hilt of his ceremonial dagger. What did he say? Maverick broke into a cold sweat. Your Highness, that is a ceremonial greeting in our country. It's a sign of deep respect for royalty. Wowie wow means greatest of the great." The Sultan narrowed his eyes. "Like a chicken?" "Yes," Maverick improvised wildly. "The chicken is the sacred bird of Nebraska. It represents fertility and eggs. Very auspicious." The Sultan seemed mollified. "I see. Then I shall allow your men to handle my luggage. But if any man dares to debase the dignity of my daughters, he will answer to me." Later that evening, the illness of Hammersmith took a turn for the worse when he heard that Maverick was actually doing a good job. Hammersmith, wearing a seaman's uniform as a disguise, snuck out of the hospital to spy on the Sultan's dinner party. He found Maverick's crew had set up a traditional luau. To hide the fact that one of the daughters had snuck off to go swimming with Pringle, the crew had dressed up a local sailor named Vic in a veil and a grass skirt. Hammersmith burst into the room. "I've got you now, Maverick. One of these princesses is an imposter." He grabbed Vic and ripped off the veil. "See? A phony. A Balinese bunny in a beard." The Sultan stood up, trembling with rage. "You dare lay hands on my... Wait, that is not my daughter. Who is this hairy creature?" Hammersmith realized his mistake too late. I thought. "You see, sir, I saw this person with Pringle." "Insolence," the Sultan roared. "I will report this to your Washington. You stupid infidel." Chapter 4: The Laughing Gas Gambit. Back at the base, Pringle was facing a fitness board. Hammersmith had recovered miraculously and was determined to break Pringle down to a seaman second class. July 16th, Hammersmith read from a file, his voice dripping with venom. During gunnery drill, you shot down a target plane. Unfortunately, the target was being towed by the Admiral's personal transport. I thought it was an enemy drone, sir, Pringle squeaked. August 1st, Hammersmith continued. You torpedoed a garbage scow because you claimed it was a camouflaged enemy submarine, disguised as potato peels. Maverick knew he had to save his friend. He turned to Golly, the crew's resident tinkerer. Golly, we need to mellow Hammersmith out. What did we get from the dentist's supply list? A tank of nitrous oxide. Skip, Golly grinned. Laughing gas. The plan was simple. Pump the gas into Hammersmith's office through the ventilation system, just as the fitness board began. As Hammersmith sat at his desk, preparing to deliver the final blow to Pringle's career, the room began to fill with a sweet-smelling vapor. Now, Pringle, Hammersmith began, but his voice suddenly went up an octave. You are a very, a very naughty boy. The fitness board members, two stern-faced captains, began to giggle. I must say, Horatio, one of them chirped, that uniform makes you look like a giant blueberry. Hammersmith burst into a fit of hysterical laughter. I am a blueberry, a big, round, sour blueberry. And Pringle is my little blueberry muffin, Chucky Wucky. He grabbed Pringle and hugged him. I love you, Pringle. I'm canceling the board. Let's have a party. Let's spray the shrubs. He ran outside and grabbed a fire hose, spraying a passing nurse while screaming about frangipani flies. Frangipani flies at 3 o'clock. Hammersmith shrieked, dancing a jig on the hood of his jeep. Geronimo, they're invading the island. The High Commissioner, who had arrived just in time to see the Commodore chasing a butterfly with a butterfly net while wearing a flower garland, shook it. Clearly, Hammersmith is suffering from combat fatigue. But look at that young Lieutenant Pringle. Chapter 5. The Case of the Wealthy Monitor Lizard. The final straw for Hammersmith's sanity came in the form of Chompy, a 6-foot-long monitor lizard that the crew had adopted as a mascot. Hammersmith had devised a trap. He had marked 9 $100 bills from Vane's back pay and placed them in a wallet, which he accidentally dropped near the 7-3 boat's pier. When they steal the wallet, Hammersmith whispered to Vane, "We'll catch them with the marked bills. It's foolproof." Unfortunately, Chompy the lizard found the wallet first. Being a lizard of expensive tastes, he swallowed the ID card and held the wallet in his mouth like a trophy. When Pringle found Chompy, he saw the wallet. Oh, no. Chompy, did you eat the Commodore? This is his ID card. The lizard ate Hammersmith. Golly gasped. Hip, hip, hooray. But Hammersmith wasn't dead. He appeared on the pier, screaming for his money. I've got you. You stole my wallet. I saw the ID card in your hand, Pringle. But, sir, the lizard stole it. Pringle cried. Look at Chompy. He's got the evidence. An alligator? A lizard? Hammersmith roared. I'll see you in a court-martial. You can put the lizard on the stand. The trial was a circus. Pringle acted as his own defense attorney. Your Honor, he addressed the stone-faced judge. I object. You cannot call Chompy stupid. He may look stupid, but he had an unhappy childhood. Order. The judge banged his gavel. Where is this lizard? At that moment, Maverick and the crew burst into the courtroom, leading Chompy on a leash made of nautical rope. In Chompy's mouth was the leather wallet. Exhibit A, Maverick shouted. I demand you get that beast out of here. Hammersmith screamed, climbing onto the judge's bench. Open up, Chompy. Maverick coaxed. The lizard yawned, dropping the wallet. Maverick opened it and pulled out the bills. Here it is, sir. 9 $100 bills. Cartosa. 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 And look, they're marked with Vanne's initials. Aha! Pringle shouted. So, it was a trap. The Commodore was trying to frame a poor, defenseless lizard. The judge looked at the marked bills, then at the terrified Vane, and finally at Hammersmith, who was currently trying to hide behind a curtain. Commodore Hammersmith, using government payroll to set traps for local fauna is a serious breach of ethics. Charges against Lieutenant Pringle are dismissed. Charges against you, well, we shall see. Chapter 6. The Great Payroll Heist. The final act of the Zanzarite drama involved the missing $62,000 payroll. Hammersmith, desperate to regain his reputation, had entrusted the money to Pringle, hoping the boy would lose it so he could finally ship him off to a desk in the Arctic. Pringle, of course, was mugged by a group of local entrepreneurs, while he was distracted by a girl with a heart-shaped birthmark on her ankle. "I'm a failure, Jax," Pringle sobbed back at the boat. "The money is gone. $62,000. We'll find it, Chuck," Maverick promised. "The girl with the birthmark. That's our lead." The crew scoured the island, checking the ankles of every woman in Zanzarite. Hammersmith and Vane arrived just as the fight broke out. "I've got you," Hammersmith crowed, pointing his gun at Maverick. "You've hidden the payroll. Admit it." Suddenly, a group of enemy saboteurs, who had been hiding in the same warehouse, opened fire. "Nib Zeros! Take cover!" Gully yelled. The saboteurs were using the old warehouse as a base. Pringle, in a moment of sheer, accidental brilliance, saw the old cannon. He didn't have any cannonballs, so he stuffed whatever was lying around into the barrel. "Pringle, get down. All you gotta do is light the fuse," Pringle screamed, touching a cigar to the touch hole. Boom! The cannon didn't fire a ball. It fired the missing payroll. The saboteurs had hidden the money in the barrel. A rain of $20 bills and $50 bills exploded into the air, fluttering down like green snow. The saboteurs were so confused by the literal money shot that they surrendered immediately. Hammersmith stood in the middle of the clearing, covered in cash, $42,000. Maverick walked up to him, dusting off his hands. "There's your money, Captain. And we caught a nest of spies for you. I'm sure the High Commissioner will be very impressed with your strategic use of currency in combat." Hammersmith looked at the money, then at Maverick, then at the $62,000 fluttering into the jungle. He let out a long, low moan and collapsed into the grass. "Why me?" he whispered to the sky. "Why is it always me?" Maverick smiled, adjusted his cap, and headed back to the 7-3 boat. "Come on, boys, let's go home. I think I hear a bottle of champagne calling my name." And as the sun set over Zanzarite, the sound of laughter and a very satisfied monitor lizard echoed through the palms. The end. The Chaos. Chronicles of Indigo Bay, a novel of incompetence, gators, and global security. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis. Director Barnaby Bluster Barnacle was a man whose blood pressure was a constant source of fascination for medical science. As the head of the Vanguard Security Corps, VSC, on the remote, high-tech island of Indigo Bay, he was supposed to be the pinnacle of tactical discipline. Instead, he was currently staring at a requisition form that threatened to end his career. "Wow," Barnacle whispered, his face turning a shade of purple usually reserved for overripe eggplants. "Wow, wow, wow. Compression straps for the medical wing staff? Carver, you are the logistics officer here. If the tactical nurses need high-intensity compression garters to keep their circulation going during a 12-hour shift, then you snap to it. Shake a leg, or a garter. You know what I mean." Lieutenant Chip Carver, a man whose spine was permanently bent in a submissive bow, nodded frantically. "Yes, sir. Immediately, sir. It's just that the supply lines from the mainland are—" "I don't care about the supply lines," Barnacle roared. "Everything is on my shoulders. This entire archipelago is a powder keg, and I'm sitting on it with a lit match. And now I get this." He brandished the encrypted tablet. "Commissioner Iron Jaw Sterling is arriving today for a sneak inspection." Iron Jaw. Do you realize what a disaster this place is? The sinks in the executive lounge are backing up, the recruits are sunbathing on the radar dishes, and my stomach acid could currently power a small city. The phone rang. Barnacle snatched it up. "Vanguard Corps, Director Barnacle speaking. Who did you expect? The ghost of Christmas past? Listen, I don't care if the Petty Officers Club smells like a sewer. I'm a director, not a plumber. Fix it, or I'll have you guarding the shark pins. He slammed the phone down and swallowed a handful of antacids as if they were candy. Carver, I feel a genuine collapse coming on. If I were medically unfit, I could appoint an acting base commander, someone to take the heat from Iron Joe, someone who would inevitably fail so spectacularly that I would look like a saint by comparison. Carver's eyes lit up with malicious glee. You mean Commander Kane? Barnacle's eggplant purple face shifted into a wicked grin. Exactly. Commander Carter Kane and his band of misfits on the Barracuda. If I put them in charge, they'll turn this base into a Roman orgy within 3 hours. Sterling will fire them into the sun, and I'll be back in charge by dinner. Chapter 2. The Command of Carter Kane. Commander Kane was lounging on the deck of the Barracuda, a converted PT-style stealth boat, sipping a coconut-infused electrolyte drink. Around him, his crew, Gruber, Willie, and the clumsy but lovable junior agent Percy Puddles Pringle, were arguing about whether a grilled pineapple was technically a weapon. Commander, Carver shouted from the pier, flanked by 2 nervous-looking medics. The director is incapacitated. Acute tactical indigestion. He has appointed you, Kane, as acting base director. Kane sat up, adjusting his polarized aviators. Me? In the big chair? Barnacle must be more than sick. He must be delusional. It is a direct order, Carver insisted. You and Agent Percy are to report to the executive office immediately. 10 minutes later, Kane was sitting behind Barnacle's mahogany desk, his boots up on the polished surface. Percy was frantically trying to organize a stack of folders that he immediately dropped, scattering top-secret documents across the floor. Sir, Percy stammered. The plumbing is still backed up, and the tactical nurses are protesting the lack of compression gear, and I think I accidentally ordered 5,000 crates of slingshots instead of ammunition. Relax, Puddles, Kane said, spinning in the expensive leather chair. The first rule of command is, if you can't fix it, throw a party for it. Did the shipment of refreshments arrive? Yes, sir. Gruber popped his head in. And the entertainment. But Skip, we've got a problem. Radar just picked up a VIP transport. It's Iron Joe Sterling. He's early. Kane didn't blink. Tell the crew to clear the decks. Hide the refreshments. And for heaven's sake, get Percy out of that tactical vest. He's wearing it backward again. Chapter 3. The Royal Engagement. Before Kane could even begin to hide the evidence of his intended luau, a secondary crisis arrived. A sleek, gold-plated VTOL jet descended onto the landing pad. Out stepped the Sheikh of Al-Zahra, a man whose wealth was matched only by the strictness of his traditional values. He was accompanied by his 3 daughters, princesses, who looked far more interested in their smartphones than in diplomatic protocols. I am Karim, the Sheikh announced, his voice echoing in the hangar. I require sanctuary. The insurgents are threatening my borders, and I have brought my most valuable treasures, my daughters, and my ancestral artifacts. Kane, ever the charmer, stepped forward. Your Highness, welcome to Indigo Bay. I'm Commander Kane. We're here to serve you, and these are my highly trained security specialists. He pointed to his crew, who were currently trying to untangle themselves from a ceremonial rug. Wowie, wow, wow, Percy whispered, staring at the princesses. The Sheikh's eyes narrowed. The next man who dares to debase the dignity of the princesses will answer to me. We travel with strict customs. No one is to touch the princesses, or even look at them for too long. Of course, sir, Kane said, shooting a warning glance at his crew. In our country, wowie wow is a ceremonial greeting of respect. It means, long live the desert wind. The Sheikh looked skeptical, but allowed Kane to lead them to their quarters. However, the director's secret plan was already in motion. From his hospital bed, Barnacle had sent a message to one of the tactical nurses, Lieutenant Wilson, telling her to take Kane for a private swim to distract him while Sterling arrived. Chaos converged. As Kane was being chased by a confused nurse in a wetsuit, the Sheikh's daughters decided they wanted to see the Barracuda. Percy, in a desperate attempt to impress Princess Siri, promised her a boat ride. If the sheikh finds out we're on this boat without an escort, we're dead. Percy whispered as they pulled away from the dock. Don't worry, Puddles. Princess Siri laughed. I've always wanted to drive a boat with dual turbine engines. Meanwhile, at the executive office, the plumbing finally gave way. A geyser of recycled water erupted just as Commissioner Sterling entered the building. Chapter 4. The Laughing Gas Diversion. 2 days later, the base was a wreck. Barnacle, miraculously cured after seeing the mess Kane had made, had returned to power only to find that Sterling had stayed behind to conduct a full fitness board hearing for the entire crew. I'm going to break you, Kane, Barnacle screamed, and your little dog Pringle too. You torpedoed the garbage scow. You hid hula girls in the biodome. You let the sheikh's daughter joyride the stealth boat. You're finished. The crew huddled in the Barracuda's mess hall. We've got to do something, Skip, Willie said. If that hearing happens, we're all going to be guarding icebergs in the North Pole. Kane looked at the tank of nitrous oxide. Laughing gas. They had borrowed from the dental clinic for a party that never happened. I have an idea. It's a bit out of left field, but if Barnacle is in a good mood, he might just forget the hearing. They rigged a series of tubes into the director's office ventilation. As Barnacle sat at his desk, preparing the final paperwork for Kane's court-martial, the gas began to hiss. Barnacle sniffed the air. Carver, do you smell something sweet, like victory? I smell something, sir, Carver said, beginning to giggle. 5 minutes later, the office was a riot. Barnacle was standing on his desk, wearing a lampshade as a crown. Chucky Wucky, he shrieked, pointing at Carver. You have fat little legs, like a penguin. Oh, I love everyone. Kane is my best friend. Cancel the hearing. Bring me a martini and a hula hoop. Kane and Percy walked in, wearing gas masks. Sir, about the hearing? Cancelled. Barnacle roared, falling off his desk in a fit of giggles. You're all promoted. To space. We're going to the moon. However, the gas wore off just as Commissioner Sterling arrived. Barnacle was found trying to swim across his office carpet, and Carver was found wearing a tactical bra over his uniform. Binghamton, Sterling boomed. What in the name of the Global Security Alliance is going on here? Sir, Barnacle gasped, his brain still fuzzy. The frangipani flies. They're spies. The windows are stuck. Chucky Wucky loves you. Sterling stared in horror. I'm beginning to think the only sane man on this island is the ensign who shot down that rogue drone with a flare gun. He was referring to Percy, who had accidentally fired a flare into the air while trying to signal for a pizza, which happened to hit an insurgent spy drone. Chapter 5. Sydney the Cyber Gator. The island's ecosystem was unique, featuring a 300-pound alligator named Sydney, who had been fitted with a GPS tracking collar by the research department. Sydney was the crew's unofficial mascot, mostly because Percy fed him peanut butter sandwiches. The director, desperate to find actual evidence of Kane's thievery, had marked 9 $1,000 bills and placed them in his wallet, leaving it as bait on a beach chair. He'll take it, Carver, Barnacle whispered from the bushes. Kane can't resist a fat wallet. Then we jump him. But Kane didn't take the wallet. Sydney did. The alligator waddled up, sniffed the expensive leather, and swallowed the entire thing whole, including the GPS collar. He ate the director, Percy screamed, watching Sydney slide back into the lagoon. No, you idiot, Kane said. He ate the evidence. When Barnacle found his ID card spat out by Sydney but no money, he accused Percy of theft. The resulting court-martial was a masterpiece of absurdity. I demand a mistrial, Percy shouted, acting as his own lawyer. The witness is a reptile, and he's crazy about my mother's peanut butter. Order, Sterling shouted. Binghamton, you are accusing this agent of stealing $9,000 that you left on a chair? That sounds like entrapment. It wasn't entrapment, Barnacle wailed. It was a sting, and that alligator is in on it. He's a tactical gator. Suddenly, Sydney himself waddled into the courtroom. Lured by the scent of a peanut butter sandwich, Kane had hidden under the judge's bench. Ha ha, Barnacle shouted. The thief. He lunged for the gator, but Sidney, feeling a bit of indigestion, let out a massive burp. Out flew the wallet, landing perfectly on Commissioner Sterling's lap. Sterling opened it. The bills were there, marked. Along with a note in Barnacle's handwriting, "Bait for that idiot Kane." "Director Barnacle," Sterling said, his voice cold as ice. "Frame-ups? Entrapment? Involving local wildlife? I think we need to discuss your future in private." Chapter 6. The Missing Millions. The final straw came when the base payroll, $62,000 in cash, was delivered. Barnacle, hoping to catch the crew in one last act of greed, ordered Percy to transport the bag personally, knowing the path went right past the island's only casino. $62,000, Percy whispered, clutching the bag. "Just me and the money." "Don't look at the roulette wheel, Percy. Don't look at the blackjack table." An hour later, Percy was found unconscious behind the casino, and the money was gone. "I'll have your heads," Barnacle screamed. "You've finally done it. You've robbed the government." Kane and the crew spent 36 hours scouring the island. They followed a lead involving a girl with a heart-shaped birthmark on her ankle, which led them to a local cabaret troupe that had been hired for the base. "It was a setup, Skip," Gruber said. The casino owners hired the girls to distract Percy while they swapped the bag. They tracked the thieves to an old coastal battery where a vintage ceremonial cannon was being prepared for a holiday salute. They stashed the dough in the cannon, Percy realized. Just as the thieves were about to make their getaway, Kane and his crew intercepted them. A firefight ensued, mostly involving Percy accidentally firing a fire extinguisher and Kane using a surfboard as a shield. During the chaos, a rogue insurgent Zero plane appeared on the horizon, attempting a desperate raid on the base. "Chuck, the cannon," Kane shouted. "It doesn't work, Skip," Percy yelled. "Yes, it does. Light the fuse." Percy lit the fuse. Instead of a cannonball, the cannon let out a thunderous whoomp, followed by a cloud of green confetti. $62,000 in small bills were propelled into the air, creating a literal money cloud. The insurgent pilot, blinded by the blizzard of cash entering his intake valves, was forced to ditch in the ocean. As the money rained down like manna from heaven, Director Barnacle and Commissioner Sterling arrived on the scene. "What is this?" Sterling gasped, catching $100 bill in his mouth. "That's the payroll, sir," Kane said, coolly adjusting his glasses. Barnacle stood there, his mouth agape, as a $20 bill landed on his nose. 42,365. Barnacle began to count the bills landing on the ground. 42,366. You used the payroll to save the base? "It's a new tactical maneuver, Director," Kane said. "We call it economic warfare." Epilogue. The sun-drenched sands. A week later, the Indigo Bay outpost was quiet. Commissioner Sterling had left, surprisingly impressed by the crew's unorthodox efficiency, though he did recommend that Director Barnacle take a long, mandatory sabbatical at a mental health retreat. Commander Kane was back on the Barracuda, lounging in his favorite chair. Percy was trying to teach Sidney the alligator how to play fetch, which was mostly resulting in Sidney trying to eat Percy's shoes. "Mail call, Skip," Gruber said, tossing a postcard onto the table. Kane picked it up. It was from a tropical resort. "Dear Acting Director Kane," the card read, "having a wonderful time frisking on the sun-drenched sands of Molly Molly. Can't thank you enough for making me medically unfit for duty. Please excuse the ink blots. My martini spilled." Kane smiled, looked at his crew of misfits, and raised his coconut drink. "To the Navy," he said. "Wavie. Wow. Wow," Percy replied, and for once, on Indigo Bay, everything was exactly as it should be. A total, hilarious disaster. The Chaos Chronicles of Neo-Taratupa. Chapter 1. The Director's Kinetic Ulcer. The year was 2085. The location was Neo-Taratupa, a high-tech private security and salvage outpost floating on a series of artificial tectonic plates in the Neo-Pacific archipelago. It was a place where the sun was always too bright, the synthetic palm trees swayed with a rhythmic mechanical whir, and the administrative staff lived in a state of perpetual near collapse. Director Barnaby Sterling, a man whose blood pressure was currently high enough to power a small lunar colony, paced his office, His office was a shrine to self-importance, filled with holographic trophies and a desk made of rare, pre-collapsed mahogany. Kinetic braces. I said, wow, wow, wow. Sterling barked into his intercom. You are the logistics officer of this godforsaken floating rock, Bumble. If the medtech nurses need kinetic braces for their smart suits, you snap to it. You shake a mechanical leg. You know what I mean. On the other end of the line, Lieutenant Arthur Artie Bumble, a man who once accidentally demagnetized an entire fleet of transport drones because he liked how the magnets felt on his teeth, stammered an apology. I'm on it, Director. It's just... The supply ship from the lunar hub was hijacked by space pirates. Or possibly seagulls. It's hard to tell on the radar. Sterling collapsed into his chair, rubbing his temples. What a war. The neo-corporate war is being fought with spreadsheets and salvage rights, and everything is on my shoulders. Everything. Suddenly, his door slid open with a hiss. His personal assistant, Officer Cedric Sycophant, rushed in, looking like a man who had just seen the ghost of a deleted hard drive. Director. Sir, I just got an encrypted burst from the Central Command. Cedric gasped. Sterling's face turned a shade of grey, usually reserved for unpainted concrete. Iron Pants Stone? Coming here? Now? Do you realize what a glorious, unmitigated mess this base is in? The Petty Officer's Lounge has a leak in the fusion plumbing. The salvage crews are running a gambling ring involving racing crabs. And the nurses are still waiting for their braces. The desk comm unit beeped. Sterling hit it with a trembling fist. The sinks in the tech club are backing up. I'm the director of this sector, not a hyper plumber. Fix it yourself. Sterling grabbed a bottle of antacid pills and began eating them like they were candy. My stomach acid could melt through the hull of a cruiser. Cedric, I need a way out. If I'm sick truly, medically incapacitated, I can appoint an acting sector chief. Then Stone will have to yell at someone else. Cedric's eyes lit up with predatory glee. Brilliant, sir. And I am ready to accept the supreme test of leadership. Not you, you ninny. Sterling snapped. Maverick. Silas, Seawolf, Maverick. With Maverick and his band of digital pirates in charge of Neo Taratupa, they'll run wild. They'll turn this place into a neon-lit orgy of incompetence right in front of Stone. Maverick will get court-martialed, and I'll come back as the hero who cleans up the mess. Sir, you are a tactical genius, Cedric whispered. Sterling leaned back and let out a pathetic groan. I do look sick, don't I? Terribly, terminal-level sick? Call the medtechs. Hurry. Tell them the director is having a sudden bout of space indigestion. Chapter 2. The Seawolf takes the helm. Silas Seawolf Maverick was a man who viewed rules as polite suggestions made by people who didn't know how to have fun. He commanded the Vulture 7-3, a retrofitted hover scout that looked like it was held together by duct tape and sheer willpower. When Maverick and his crew Artie Bumble and the rest of the gypsies arrived at the director's infirmary, they found Sterling looking like a wilted piece of synthetic lettuce. Oh, Maverick. I'm in bad shape, Sterling moaned, his voice cracking with theatrical effort. The tests. No answers yet. I need to appoint an acting chief. Don't you worry, Director, Maverick said, hiding a grin. We'll give Officer Cedric all the help he needs. Cedric? No, Sterling coughed. He's a boob. I'm appointing you, Maverick. You're the acting sector chief. Artie Bumble's jaw dropped so far it nearly hit his boots. Me? An exec? Oh boy. Did you hear that, Captain? You won't regret this, Director. I'll run this base like a Swiss watch. I know you will, Sterling whispered, closing his eyes and imagining Maverick's career exploding into 1,000 pieces. Now, within 20 minutes, the command center of Neo Taratupa had undergone a radical transformation. Maverick was leaning back in the director's mahogany chair, his feet on the console, while Bumble was frantically trying to answer 7 different holographic calls at once. Acting exec Bumble here. What? The sinks? Tell the tech club to use the ocean. The garter, kinetic braces? We found them. Send them to the med tech quarters. and Tell, the salvage crews, full speed ahead on that social event they wanted to host. One of Maverick's crewmen, a grifter known as Gears, stuck his head in. "Skip, the boys want to know if they can throw a little celebration. We've got a crate of smuggled Sinter wine and some dancers from the Nebula Isles." Maverick grinned. "A little action is exactly what this base needs, Gears. Tell them Maverick says, full throttle. To the moon, Skip." Gears cheered and vanished. Meanwhile, a massive stealth shuttle was descending toward the outpost. Inside sat Inspector General Stone, a man whose heart was rumored to be made of cold-rolled steel, and whose idea of a joke was a well-organized filing system. "Sir," Stone's aide whispered, "we are touching down at Neo Taratupa. Director Sterling is reported to be in the hospital." "In the hospital, is he?" Stone growled. "We'll see about that. I've heard rumors that this base is less of a security outpost and more of a floating circus. If I find one thread out of place, someone is going to the penal colonies." Chapter 3: The Archon and the Hula Protocol. While Maverick was busy turning the base into a resort, a new crisis emerged. A distress signal blipped on the radar. A luxury space yacht belonging to High Archon Zandor of the Nebula Isles had suffered an engine flameout near the reef. Maverick, seeing an opportunity for some high-profile glory, took the Vulture. 7-3 out to perform the rescue. When they hauled the Archon aboard, they were met with a sight that made Artie Bumble's heart skip a beat. Zandor was accompanied by his 3 daughters, princesses of the Nebula Isles, each wearing gowns made of shimmering fiber optics. "I am Archon Zandor," the dignitary announced, smoothing his robes. "Are you meant to be trusted with my most valuable cargo?" "Absolutely, Archon," Maverick said with a bow. Bumble, staring at the middle daughter, Siri, whispered, "Wow, wow, 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 like a space chicken." The Archon bristled. "The next man who dares to debase the dignity of my daughters will answer to my plasma blade." Maverick quickly stepped in. "He didn't mean it, Your Highness. In our sector, that's a traditional greeting. It means, may your engines never stall." The rescue was a success, but Maverick's troubles were just beginning. Back at the base, Inspector General Stone had arrived. To make matters worse, Director Sterling, hearing that the Archon was on base, had miraculously recovered and was trying to sabotage Maverick's hospitality. Sterling had organized a formal dinner for the Archon, hoping to shut Maverick out. But the Archon, impressed by the Vulture, 7-3, insisted that Maverick attend. "It's a command performance," Maverick told his crew. "But you guys stay away. Bumble, you're in charge of the boat. Keep it hidden." Of course, keeping the crew hidden was like trying to hide a supernova in a dark room. Bumble, in a moment of romantic weakness, had promised Princess Siri a test drive of the Hover Scout. At the dinner, Sterling was trying to impress the Archon with talk of discipline and protocol. "I trust Your Highness finds our quarters satisfactory?" Sterling asked, nursing his kinetic ulcer. "The quarters are fine," the Archon said, "but I must say I enjoyed steering Commander Maverick's craft. He is a very efficient officer." Sterling nearly choked on his synthetic steak. "Efficient?" "Yes, like a plague of locusts." "Tell me, Archon, would you like to see our air raid shelter?" "It's quite unique." Sterling's plan was simple. He knew Maverick's crew had hidden the smuggled dancers in the shelter. If he could lure the Inspector General and the Archon there, Maverick would be finished. But Maverick was one step ahead. He signaled Bumble to move the merchandise to the laundry facility. The chaos that followed was a masterclass in slapstick. Sterling led the Inspector General to the air raid shelter, only to find it empty and smelling of floor wax. Then he rushed to the laundry, screaming that there were hula dancers in the boilers. When they burst into the laundry, they didn't find dancers. They found Artie Bumble and the crew conducting a high-intensity fire drill, spraying foam everywhere. "Captain Sterling," Stone roared, "you've dragged me through an air raid shelter and a laundry room based on hallucinations of dancers. You're clearly suffering from combat fatigue. But, I saw them, Sterling wailed as the medtechs dragged him back to the infirmary. They were wiggling. They were wiggling their way into my kinetic braces. Chapter 4. The Euphoria Protocol. The next day, the base was in a state of high tension. Inspector General Stone had convened a fitness board to decide the fate of Lieutenant Arthur Bumble, whose clumsy handling of the Vulture 7-3 had resulted in him accidentally hovering over Director Sterling's vegetable garden. Bumble is finished, Sterling gloated from his bed. I'm going to break him down to a third-class maintenance drone so fast his head will spin. Maverick knew he had to act. Boys, we need to get Sterling in a good mood. A really good mood. Remember that new painkiller the dentist used on me? The laughing gas? Nitrous oxide? The happy juice? Gears asked. Skip, if we could get that into Sterling's office vents, he'd promote Bumble to Fleet Admiral. The crew went to work. They hijacked a tank of medical-grade laughing gas and connected it to the director's ventilation system. When the fitness board convened, Sterling was sitting at his desk, ready to deliver the death blow to Bumble's career. But then, the gas began to hiss through the vents. Within minutes, Sterling's stern expression began to twitch. His eyes crinkled. A giggle escaped his lips. So, Sterling began, looking at Bumble's record. It says here that on August the 1st, you torpedoed a garbage scow because you thought it was a pirate sub camouflaged with potato peels. Sterling burst into a fit of hysterical laughter. Potato peels. Oh, that's rich. That's comedy gold. Chucky Wucky. Bumble blinked. Sir, you're not mad? Mad? I love you, Chucky Wucky. You're a riot. Officer Sycophant, send a message to Central Command. Cancel the fitness board. Bumble is a hero. A genius of slapstick. The Inspector General, who had just entered the room, watched in horror as Sterling began to dance on his mahogany desk, waving a handful of yellow roses. Bingham to shout! Stone shouted. What in the name of the Great White Fleet is going on here? Oh, hi, Steel Gaze. Sterling chirped, trying to pin a rose on Stone's stern uniform. Come on, live it up. That's an order. Let's do the galactic rhythm dance. Maverick and his crew watched through the window, stifling their own laughter. Mission accomplished, Maverick whispered. But we'd better get out of here before the wind changes. Unfortunately, the gas wore off just as Sterling was trying to kiss the Inspector General's bald head. The transition from euphoria to cold, hard reality was instantaneous. What am I doing? Sterling gasped, looking down at the rose in his hand. Stone, sir, I can explain. It was the frangipani flies. They're spies. They're sabotaging the air. Stone looked at Sterling with a mix of pity and disgust. Chapter 5. The Cybergator and the Missing Payroll. The final act of the Neo Taratupa drama involved a sum of 62,000 Neo credits, the entire base payroll. The payroll had been sent to the nearby trade hub of Neo Caledonia for processing. Sterling, desperate to catch Maverick in a real crime, ordered Bumble to pick up the money alone, hoping he'd lose it. Bumble did exactly that. After being distracted by a beautiful woman with a heart-shaped birthmark on her ankle, who was actually a sophisticated pickpocket, Bumble woke up in an alley with a sore head and an empty canvas bag. Skip, the money, it's gone. Bumble wailed when Maverick found him. Don't worry, Artie, Maverick said. We've got a secret weapon. The secret weapon was Sydney, a semi-robotic cybergator that Maverick's crew kept as a mascot. Sydney had been programmed for salvage retrieval, meaning he could sniff out the specific magnetic signature of Neo credit chips. The crew spent the night scouring the neon-lit streets of Neo Caledonia. Just as Sterling and his security team arrived to arrest them for grand larceny, Sydney emerged from a sewer pipe with a soggy leather wallet in his mechanical jaws. See, Captain, Bumble shouted. Sydney found it. He's the hero. Sterling was furious. An alligator? You're telling me an alligator stole the payroll and then brought it back? I've had enough of your fairy tales, Maverick. You're all under arrest. But then, Sydney opened his mouth and dropped the wallet. Out fell Director Sterling's own ID card. Wait a minute, Maverick said, picking it up. This isn't the payroll. This is your personal wallet, Director. Why would Sidney find your wallet in a sewer? Sterling turned pale. I must have dropped it when I was setting the trap. I mean, when I was inspecting the area. Setting a trap, the Inspector General said, appearing from the shadows. So, you used the base payroll as bait to frame your own officers? Binghamton, that is a violation of the Neo-Corporate Charter, so severe, it makes my steel gaze melt. Just then, a massive explosion rocked the nearby plaza. A group of actual pirates had been trying to flee with the real payroll, but they had accidentally backed into an ancient, ceremonial plasma cannon that the base kept for holidays. Artie Bumble, in a moment of clumsy brilliance, had accidentally tripped the firing sensor. The cannon roared, firing a high-frequency blast that vaporized the pirates' getaway hover van. Suddenly, the sky above Neo Caledonia began to rain money. 62,000 Neo credits drifted down like high-tech snow. Look at that, Maverick laughed, catching a handful of chips. Manna from heaven. Director Sterling watched his career evaporate in the afternoon sun. He sat down on a crate of synthetic pineapples and put his head in his hands. Why me? He whispered. Why is it always me? Epilogue. The sun sets on Neo Taratupa. A week later, things had returned to normal at Neo Taratupa. Inspector General Stone had left, having decided that while the base was a madhouse, it was an effective one. Director Sterling was back in his office, his kinetic ulcer partially healed by a new prescription of high-powered sedatives. Maverick and his crew were back on the Vulture. 7-3, counting their salvage from the Neo Caledonia trip. Hey, Skip, Bumble said, looking at a postcard from Princess Siri. She says she wants to come back and see the Cyber Gator again. She thinks Sydney is cute. Maverick leaned back, looking out at the shimmering artificial ocean. Well, Artie, tell her the romance lamp is always lit at Neo Taratupa. As long as the director doesn't find out. In the distance, the faint sound of Director Sterling screaming about garter belts echoed over the waves. Maverick smiled. Full throttle, boys. Full throttle. The end. The Pirates of Port Purgatory. A novel of nautical nonsense and tropical turmoil. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis. The sun over the archipelago of Isla del Chaos did not merely shine. It pulsated with a malicious, humid intensity that turned starched uniforms into damp rags within seconds of sunrise. At the heart of this sweltering purgatory sat Fort Fiasco, a naval outpost that the Ministry of Maritime Defense had seemingly forgotten, or perhaps was actively trying to ignore. Commodore Barnaby the Blaster Blyton sat behind a mahogany desk that was slowly warping in the heat. His face was a shade of puce that suggested either a looming stroke or a very spicy lunch. Before him stood Junior Officer Percival Pip Pringle, a young man whose primary contribution to the war effort was looking perpetually terrified and losing important paperwork in the wind. Garter belts, Pringle! Blyton roared, slamming a fleshy fist onto the desk. The nursing staff is in an uproar. They need garter belts. And you are the supply officer. If they need them, you snap to it. Shake a leg. Oh, you know what I mean, Pip Pringle stammered, his spectacles fogging up instantly. But sir, the shipment was diverted to the northern front. Apparently, the general there uses them to hold up his maps. I don't care about maps. I care about my blood pressure. Blyton grabbed a bottle of white pills and shook 3 into his palm. My stomach acid could start a steam engine. Everything is on my shoulders. And now, to top it all off, I get word from the Admiralty. High Admiral, ironclad, Ironside, is arriving today for a sneak inspection. Pringle turned a shade of pale that matched the white of his uniform. Admiral Ironside was a man who ate discipline for breakfast and spat out court-martials by noon. Ironclad is coming here? Pip squeaked. To Fort Fiasco? Yes. And look at this place. The sinks in the officers' club are backing up like a geyser of filth. And what am I supposed to do? I'm the commanding officer, not a plumber. And what's that noise? Outside the window, a sound like a chorus of drunken seals erupted. It was the crew of the S. Shenanigan. the most decorated, disorganized, and disreputable band of sailors in the fleet, led by the legendary Captain Lucky Silas Sterling. Chapter 2. The Strategic Sickness. Blyton stared out the window at Sterling's crew, who were currently using a torpedo as a makeshift bench for a card game. An idea malicious, desperate, and brilliant began to form in his fevered brain. "Pringle," Blyton whispered, his eyes widening. "If I were sick genuinely, medically incapacitated, I couldn't possibly be held responsible for the state of this base during Ironside's visit, could I? Well, no, sir, but I could appoint an acting base commander, someone to take the brunt of Ironside's fury, someone who would inevitably destroy themselves in front of the Admiral, someone like Sterling." The plan was set. Within the hour, Blyton was draped over his desk, moaning in a manner that would have made a Victorian stage actor blush. When Captain Silas Sterling was summoned, he found the Commodore looking like a man who had just swallowed a live octopus. "Sterling," Blyton wheezed. "The medics. They don't know what it is. It might be tropical gout. It might be existential dread. Regardless, I am unfit. I am appointing you acting base commander, and Pringle here. He's your acting executive officer." Silas Sterling, a man with a tan that suggested he spent more time on beaches than in bunkers, looked at Pringle. Pringle looked at the floor. "Me, sir?" Silas asked, a slow, dangerous grin spreading across his face. "Command of the whole fort?" "Yes. Now go. Get out. I need to mourn in private." As soon as the door closed, Silas slapped Pip on the back. "Well, Pip, looks like we're in charge. Tell the boys, full speed ahead. We've got a base to run, and I hear the Petty Officers Club has some premium rum that needs inspecting before the Admiral gets here." Chapter 3. The Grand Vizier's Daughters. The reign of Captain Sterling began with a flourish of chaos. While Blyton hid in the infirmary, Silas and his crew turned Fort Fiasco into something resembling a carnival. Rumors of a Sultan or Grand Vizier visiting the islands reached them, and Silas, ever the diplomat, decided to throw a gala. The guest of honor was the Grand Vizier of Xanadu, a man of immense wealth and even more immense traditionalism. He arrived with his 3 daughters, the princesses of the moon, who were veiled and strictly guarded. "Greetings, O exalted one," Silas said, bowing low. He was currently wearing a stolen admiral's sash over his Hawaiian shirt. "Welcome to Port Purgatory. We offer you the protection of the fleet and, more importantly, the finest grilled pineapple in the hemisphere." The Grand Vizier narrowed his eyes. "My daughters must not be touched. They are the jewels of Xanadu. If any man dares to debase their dignity, he will answer to the sword. Quara, no debasing, just dancing," Silas promised. Meanwhile, back in the infirmary, Blyton heard the music. He realized his plan was working too well. Sterling wasn't failing. He was enjoying himself. "Pringle," Blyton hissed from his bed. "Go to the closet. Get me my uniform." But the gala was already in full swing. One of Sterling's men, a sailor named Gruber the Greek, had accidentally befriended one of the princesses by teaching her how to play poker. When the Grand Vizier discovered them, Silas had to act fast. "It's an old naval tradition, Your Highness," Silas shouted over the music. "The game of the 52 saints. It's purely spiritual." The chaos reached a crescendo when a group of hula girls, who were actually Sterling sailors in grass skirts and coconut bras, began a performance for the visiting dignitaries. Admiral Ironside chose that exact moment to walk into the base. Chapter 4. The Gas of Gladness. The inspection was a disaster, or it would have been, if not for Silas's sheer audacity. Every time Ironside pointed out a violation, Silas framed it as a new psychological warfare tactic. However, Commodore Blyton was not finished. He was determined to see Pip Pringle court-martialed for a series of bungled reports. "We have to save Pip," Silas told his crew. "And the only way to save a man from Blyton is to make Blyton a different man." The plan involved a tank of nitrous oxide laughing gas purloined from the dental clinic. The crew rigged a series of tubes into Blyton's office vents, As Blyton sat down to sign the papers that would end Pip's career, the gas began to hiss. The Commodore's scowl began to twitch. A giggle, high-pitched and uncharacteristic, escaped his throat. "You know, Pringo," Blyton chirped, his eyes glazing over. "You're a funny little man. Like a baby penguin. Why would I want to court-martial a penguin?" Ha, 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 ha. When Admiral Ironside arrived for the hearing, he found the Commodore dancing on his desk, wearing a lei and shouting, "I'm a butterfly, a beautiful, bureaucratic butterfly." The Admiral turned to Silas. "Is your commanding officer quite well? Combat fatigue?" "Sir," Silas said solemnly. The weight of the garter belt crisis finally broke him. Chapter 5. Cyril and the 62,000. The final madness began with the arrival of the base payroll, $62,000, in small, unmarked bills. Commodore Blyton, having recovered from the gas, but now suffering from a severe case of paranoia, decided to trap Silas. "I'll leave my wallet stuffed with marked bills near the beach," Blyton plotted with his sycophantic aide. "Lieutenant Carpenter, when Silas's pirates find it and spend it, we'll have them for grand larceny." But the plot took a turn for the reptilian. Pip Pringle, while wandering the marshes near the base, had befriended an alligator. He named it Cyril. Cyril was a creature of simple tastes. He liked sunshine, quiet, and Pip's mother's peanut butter sandwiches. When Blyton dropped his bait wallet on the sand, Cyril, attracted by the smell of the fine leather, decided it was a snack. He snapped up the wallet, $900 in marked bills, and a set of naval IDs, and retreated into the swamp. "He ate the Commodore!" Pip screamed, finding Silas back at the dock. "Cyril ate the Commodore. All that's left is his ID card." "Good for Cyril," Silas remarked, lighting a cigar. "Wait. Cyril has the money?" The ensuing trial of the century was held at the base. Blyton, furious and wanting his money back, accused Silas of theft. Silas, in turn, called his star witness, Cyril the alligator. "Sir," Silas addressed the judge, "the defense moves for a mistrial. The Commodore claims we stole his wallet, but the true culprit is currently digesting it in the back of the room." Cyril sat in the middle of the courtroom, looking remarkably smug. When Blyton tried to grab the alligator to retrieve his property, the creature let out a hiss that sent the Commodore scurrying up a flagpole. Chapter 6. The Cannon of Fortune. The climax occurred during a sudden aerial skirmish. An enemy scout plane was spotted on the horizon, heading straight for Fort Fiasco. In the chaos, the actual base payroll, the $62,000, had gone missing. Blyton was convinced Silas had buried it. Silas was convinced it had been hijacked by the Grand Vizier's fleeing entourage. "The cannon!" Silas yelled, pointing to a rusted, decorative artillery piece on the main lawn. "Man the guns! We have to show them we're still in the fight. That cannon hasn't worked since the Spanish-American War." Blyton screamed from the safety of a bunker, but Pip Pringle was already lighting the fuse. "For the Navy," he cried. Instead of a thunderous explosion and a lead shell, the cannon let out a muffled thump. From its barrel, a cloud of green confetti erupted. It wasn't smoke, it was money. Thousands and thousands of $20 and $50 bills rained down over the base like a glorious financial blizzard. It turned out the crew had used the cannon as a safe to hide the payroll from the theft they suspected Blyton was planning. As the bills settled on the damp grass, Admiral Ironside walked into the center of the lawn. He caught a $20 bill as it fluttered past his nose. "Sterling?" the Admiral said, his voice cold as ice. "Sir?" Silas asked, sweating. "I have never seen such a magnificent display of morale-boosting pyrotechnics. To fire the payroll into the air during an attack to show the enemy we have money to burn. That is the most audaciously American thing I have ever witnessed." Blyton, watching from the bunker, fainted. Epilogue. The sun sets on Port Purgatory. The Admiral left the next morning, granting the S. Cess. Shenanigan a commendation for innovative financial defense. Silas Sterling returned to his boat. Cyril the alligator became the official base mascot. And Pip Pringle finally found a shipment of garter belts, though he accidentally sent them to the submarine fleet instead. Commodore Blyton sat in his office, staring at a new sink that had just begun to back up. He looked at his warped mahogany desk, and then at the bottle of white pills. "Wow," he whispered to the empty room. "Wow, wow, wow." Outside, the sounds of laughter and the clinking of glasses drifted from the docks. The pirates of Port Purgatory were celebrating another day of survival, and in the humid, salt-crusted heart of the archipelago, Silas Sterling toasted the sunset, knowing that as long as the ministry kept forgetting about them, they were the luckiest men in the world. Note to user: due to the constraints of the environment, this story utilized the fallback model Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview for conceptualizing the imagery described within the text. Advanced model features were unavailable at this time. The Zenith of Absurdity. Chronicles of Sector 7G. Prologue. The loneliest rock in the galaxy. Sector 7G was not the edge of the universe, but you could certainly see it from there if you stood on your tiptoes and ignored the smell of leaking coolant. Station Zenith was a rust bucket of a moon base orbiting Gorgon 4, a planet that looked like a moldy orange and smelled significantly worse. Commander Barnaby Beady Eyes Baxter sat in his office, which was roughly the size of a storage closet and twice as depressing. He was currently staring at a requisition form that demanded of all things electromagnetic garter belts for the station's medical staff. Garter belts! Baxter shrieked, his voice hitting a frequency that made the nearby hydrosync groan in sympathy. "I am a commander of the United Galactic Federation. I am a strategist, a warrior, and here I am, acting as a high-priced haberdasher for nurses on a moon where the gravity is so low that their socks float off anyway." His executive assistant, a man named Fletcher, who had the personality of lukewarm porridge and the loyalty of a well-trained golden retriever, leaned into the room. "Sir, if the nurses need the stabilizers, they say the static electricity makes their hair stand up during surgery. It's very distracting for the patients. Tell them to wear hats, Fletcher. Tell them to shave their heads." "I don't care. I have bigger problems." Baxter slammed his fist onto the desk, which promptly vibrated a half-empty bottle of antacids onto the floor. The sinks in the junior officer's lounge are backing up with hyperdimensional sludge again. "Am I a commander or a plumber?" "A bit of both on Tuesdays, sir." Fletcher noted helpfully, but the real crisis arrived via a blinking red light on the holoscreen. A message from the High Command. "Oh, no," Baxter whispered, his face turning the color of a dying star. "Grand Marshal Vane. The Vice Vanguard is arriving today for a sneak inspection. He's the most cold-blooded, iron-stomached, rule-obsessed monster in the fleet. If he sees the state of this station, the gambling, the moonshine distillery in the vents, the fact that our primary defense cannon is currently being used to dry laundry, he'll have me court-martialed and sent to the spice mines of Kessel." Baxter clutched his stomach. "My acid levels are high enough to power a small shuttle. Fletcher, I'm dying. I can feel it. The Starrot has finally claimed me." "You had a spicy burrito for lunch, sir," Fletcher pointed out. "It's Starrot," Baxter insisted. "Wait, if I'm sick, I can't meet the Grand Marshal. If I'm incapacitated, I have to appoint an acting base commander to take the heat. Someone expendable. Someone who is already a walking disaster." A slow, wicked grin spread across Baxter's face. "Appoint Captain Silas, Sly Sterling of the Stardust. 7-3. If Vanguard is going to destroy anyone's career today, it's going to be that charismatic pirate and his gang of misfits." Chapter 1. The Sterling Takeover. Captain Silas Sterling was a man who viewed regulations as vague suggestions for people without imagination. He and his crew, the Starslingers, were currently engaged in a very intense, very illegal game of zero-G poker in the cargo bay of their shuttle, the 73. "I'll see your 2 energy cells and raise you a crate of contraband synthetic peaches," Sterling said, leaning back with a confident smirk. His second-in-command, Junior Officer Pip, the puddle Pringle, was sweating profusely. Pip was a man who could trip over a flat surface and once accidentally declared war on a peaceful planet of sentient ferns by sneezing during a diplomatic broadcast. "Skip, I don't think we should be betting the peaches," Pip whimpered. The commander said, "Those were for the arrival ceremony. Tomorrow." "Pip, relax. By tomorrow, we'll have won enough credits to buy the whole station," Sterling laughed. Suddenly, Fletcher appeared on the monitor. "Captain Sterling, Commander Baxter is... well, he's dying. Violently. He has appointed you as the acting station commander, effective immediately. Grand Marshal Vanguard arrives in 20 minutes. Good luck. You'll need it." The screen went black. "Acting commander?" Pip gasped, falling off his chair. "We're doomed. We're all going to the brig." "I'm too pretty for the brig, Skip. My skin doesn't do well in recycled air." "Quiet, Pip." Sterling stood up, adjusting his tunic. "This is perfect. If I'm the boss, I can authorize that shipment of Romulan Ale we've been trying to sneak past the scanners. And you, Pip, are my new executive officer." "Me?" Pip's eyes widened. "Precisely. Now, get to the bridge and try not to break the planet." Chapter 2. The Grand Marshal's Surprise. Grand Marshal Vane Vanguard did not walk. He marched. His boots made a sound like a gavel hitting a coffin. When he stepped off his luxury cruiser onto Station Zenith, he was met not by Commander Baxter, but by a man wearing a Hawaiian print flight suit, and a lieutenant who was currently tangled in his own ceremonial sword. "What is this?" Vanguard roared, his voice echoing through the docking bay. "Where is Baxter? The commander is currently battling a very rare and very contagious case of Gorgonian lung flu." "Sir," Sterling lied smoothly, offering a crisp, non-regulation salute. "I am Captain Sterling, acting commander, and this is my executive officer, Pip." Pip tried to salute, but his hand caught the brim of his cap, pulling it over his eyes. "Welcome to the, Moon of Joy, sir. I mean, Station Zenith." Vanguard narrowed his eyes. "Why is there a smell of roasted pig and pineapple coming from the air filtration system?" "Standard maintenance procedure, sir," Sterling said. "We use organic aromatic oils to improve crew morale. We find it reduces the urge to mutiny by 42%. "I want a full inspection," Vanguard snapped. "Starting with the air raid shelters." Sterling froze. The air raid shelter was currently being used as a ballroom for the crew's end of the galaxy party, complete with three-legged alien hula dancers and a buffet that violated several interstellar health codes. "The air raid shelters, sir? They're, being fumigated. Highly toxic. You'll turn into a puddle of goo in seconds." "Very dangerous," Sterling said. "I've a pressurized suit, Captain." "Lead the way." Sterling looked at Pip. Pip looked at the floor. The disaster was imminent. Chapter 3. The Magnate and the Three Daughters. While Sterling was busy trying to steer the Grand Marshal away from the orgy of insubordination in the basement, a new ship dropped out of warp. It was a golden, bulbous craft belonging to the exalted magnate of the Orion Belt, a man so rich he used black holes as trash compactors. The magnate was arriving with his three daughters, Princess Lyra, Princess Sora, and Princess I Want to Punch Something Mira. They were here for a diplomatic summit, or so Baxter had thought. In reality, the magnate just wanted a vacation where nobody would recognize him. Sterling, now desperate to distract Vanguard, had a brilliant idea. "Sir, the magnate, he's arrived. Surely a man of your stature should be the one to welcome such a prestigious ally." Vanguard puffed out his chest. "Indeed. Diplomatic relations are the backbone of the Federation. Lead me to him." The magnate stepped off his ship, looking like a giant space walrus in a tuxedo. "Greetings, noble warriors. I am Karim. And these are my most precious possessions, my daughters. Touch them, and I will have your solar system deleted from the star charts." Sterling bowed low. "Exalted magnate, we are honored. Allow me to show you our finest, shuttlecraft." Sterling gestured toward the 73, which was currently leaking oil and had a "Wash Me" sign scratched into the hull. The magnate's daughters were not impressed. Princess Mira, in particular, was staring at Pip with an expression that suggested she was deciding which of his limbs to pull off first. "You," she said, pointing at Pip. "You look like a man who knows how to have fun. Take me for a flight." "A flight?" Pip squeaked. "In the middle of an inspection? The Grand Marshal is right there. Is that a no?" Mira's hand moved toward a wicked-looking laser dagger at her hip. "It's a yes. Please don't kill me," Pip shouted. Chapter 4. The Zen Gas Incident. Toi. Back in the medical wing, Commander Baxter was tired of pretending to be sick. He wanted to see Sterling get fired. He decided to sneak out, but he needed a distraction. Fletcher. The dental lab. They just got a shipment of Zen gas, the new anesthetic that makes patients feel like they're floating through a nebula made of kittens. If we pump a little of that into the ventilation system near the Grand Marshal's meeting room, everyone will be too happy to notice the mess. "But sir, the dosage is very sensitive," Fletcher warned. "Just turn the dial, Fletcher. Turn it to maximum joy." The gas didn't just leak into the meeting room. It flooded the entire command center. Sterling, Vanguard, the magnate, and the daughters were suddenly hit by a wave of pure, unadulterated euphoria. Vanguard, normally a man who could scare a robot, began to giggle. "You know, Silas, your station is a disaster. It's a total wreck. But the colors of your flight suit are just magical." "I know, right?" Sterling said, his eyes glazing over. "Let's promote everyone. You, Pip, you're an admiral." "I'm an admiral," Pip cheered, accidentally firing his flare gun into the ceiling. "I'm the king of space." The magnate began to juggle his own royal jewels. "I love this moon. It's so dusty." Baxter, watching from the security cameras, realized he had made a mistake. The gas was too strong. Everyone was losing their minds. He had to stop it before the Grand Marshal authorized a nuclear strike just to see the pretty lights. Chapter 5. The Curse of the Phantom Shuttle. The Zen gas finally wore off, leaving everyone with a headache the size of a gas giant. Vanguard was back to being a monster, and he was furious. "Sterling, I don't know what kind of chemical warfare you just waged on me, but your career is over. I'm convening a fitness board immediately." "A fitness board?" Sterling protested. "But sir, I saved the magnate from a boredom-induced coma. While I saved the magnate from a quiet. And as for this shuttle, the 73, it's a hazard. It looks like it was built out of scrap metal and prayer. Wentadeli putalis ufromazenda." Sterling's crew decided to fight back, using the oldest trick in the book, superstition. They started a rumor that the 73 was actually the ghost ship 13, a cursed vessel that brought doom to anyone who tried to command it. They rigged the ship with holographic projectors and hidden speakers. When Vanguard stepped on board for his final inspection, the lights began to flicker. A ghostly voice echoed through the halls. "Beware. The paperwork, the taxes, the eternal bureaucracy." "What was that?" Vanguard demanded, his hand shaking. "It's the curse, sir," Pip wailed, appearing from the shadows with glowing green paint on his face. "The ship demands a sacrifice. It wants a commander's stripes." Suddenly, the engines began to groan in a rhythmic, terrifying way. A holographic space wraith, which looked suspiciously like Sterling in a bedsheet, flew across the bridge. Vanguard didn't stay to investigate. He ran. He ran faster than a photon torpedo, straight back to his cruiser. "Cancel the board. Burn the files. I'm leaving this cursed rock forever." Chapter 6. Zog, the Xenolizard, and the missing credits. The Grand Marshal was gone, but the station had one last crisis. The monthly payroll, a digital drive containing 62,000 galactic credits, had gone missing. "If that money isn't found," Baxter screamed, "we won't have enough power to keep the life support systems running. We'll all suffocate in the dark." "Don't look at us," Sterling said, leaning against the crate. We haven't seen your credits. You're lying. I know you stole them to buy more of those peaches. Just then, Snappy, a 3-foot-long xeno lizard that the crew had adopted as a mascot, crawled into the room. He looked bloated and was making a strange beep-beep sound. Wait, Pip said, kneeling down. Snappy. What's in your mouth? Snappy let out a loud burp, and the glowing digital drive slid across the floor. The payroll! Baxter gasped. The lizard ate the payroll. He's a growing boy, Sterling said, patting the lizard on the head. He likes the taste of high-yield encryption. I'm still court-martialing you for this. Baxter reached for the drive, but Snappy snapped his jaws, narrowly missing the commander's fingers. I wouldn't do that, sir, Sterling warned. He's very protective of his assets. If you want the money, you'll have to negotiate with the lizard. Negotiate? With the reptile? He likes peanut butter, Pip suggested. My mom sends me a jar every month. It's the only thing that calms him down. The image of Commander Baxter, a high-ranking officer of the Galactic Federation, kneeling on the floor and offering a spoonful of peanut butter to a glowing lizard, while Silas Sterling laughed in the background, was the perfect ending to the week. Epilogue. Business as usual. A week later, Station Zenith was back to its normal state of functional chaos. The sinks were still backed up, the garter belts had finally arrived and were being used as slingshots. And Captain Sterling was once again winning all of Baxter's credits in a friendly game of cards. Baxter looked out his window at the purple skies of Gorgon. 4. He was still a commander. He was still stuck on the loneliest rock in the galaxy. But as he watched Pip accidentally set fire to a nearby trash pot, he realized something. He might not have his promotion, and he might have a stomach full of acid, but life in Sector 7G was never boring. Fletcher, Baxter called out. Yes, sir. Get the lizard. I think I'm ready for another round of peanut butter diplomacy. Sterling raised his glass of Romulan Ale. To the Zenith, Commander. May it never actually fall out of orbit. Shut up, Sterling, Baxter sighed. And deal the cards. The end. The Chaos. Chronicles of Sector 7. A novel of galactic incompetence and high stakes. Slapstick. Prologue. The Floating Circus. The Azure Archipelago of Sector 7 was not where heroes were made. It was where military careers went to be buried in the neon blue sands of a gas giant's moon. It was a collection of floating islands held aloft by humming anti-gravity pylons, surrounded by a swirling sea of cobalt clouds. To the High Command, it was a strategic outpost. To the men stationed there, it was a tropical prison with better drinks. At the center of this floating circus sat Commodore Barnaby Blythe, a man whose blood pressure was roughly the same as the atmospheric pressure on a heavy gravity planet. His office, a gleaming dome of glass and chrome, overlooked the docks where the Star Skipper 73, the most disreputable vessel in the fleet, was currently leaking radioactive coolant into the lagoon. Blythe's life was a constant battle against two things: his own stomach acid, and the commanding officer of the 73, Captain Jax, the Ghost Sterling. Chapter 1. The Garter Belt Crisis. Commodore Blythe stared at the requisition form on his desk as if it were an active thermal detonator. Garter belts? He barked, his voice cracking like a dry twig. Viper! You are the supply officer of this entire moon base. If the medical nurses require garter belts for their uniforms, you snap to it. You shake a leg. You know what I mean. Lieutenant Flint, a man whose only skill was looking concerned while doing absolutely nothing, nodded vigorously. The war effort is a delicate machine, sir. Without proper hosiery support, morale could plummet. Blythe groaned, clutching his midsection. Everything is on my shoulders. I am the commander of Sector 7, not a haberdasher. And now this. He brandished a holographic message. Grand Marshal Titanium Thorn is arriving today for a sneak inspection. Iron Pants. Thorn. The man eats junior officers for breakfast and spits out brass buttons. The Commodore's office was a mess. The sinks in the petty officer's lounge were backing up with neon green sludge. The anti-air turrets were being used by Sterling's crew to roast giant marshmallows, and the entire base smelled faintly of fermented pineapple. I can't face him, Blythe whispered, popping an anti-acid pill like it was candy. My stomach acid could start a star freighter. I need a way out. If I was sick, if I were incapacitated, I could appoint an acting base commander. Someone to take the fall when Thorne sees the state of this place. His eyes drifted toward the window, landing on the Star Skipper 73. A devious, wonderful, terrible idea began to form. Get me Captain Sterling. Blythe smirked, ignoring the burning in his esophagus. If I'm going to go down, I'm taking that rogue with me. He'll run this base into the ground right in front of the marshal, and I'll be safely tucked in a hospital bed, looking like a tragic victim of overwork. Chapter 2. The Reluctant Commander. Captain Jack Sterling entered the office with the casual gait of a man who had never followed a regulation in his life. He was followed by his second-in-command, Lieutenant Percy Pip Puddlefoot, a man who had once managed to get his head stuck in a torpedo tube during a routine cleaning. "You called, Commodore?" Jax asked, leaning against a billion-credit tactical display. Blythe groaned theatrically, collapsing into his chair. "Sterling, I'm not well. It's the stress, the heavy burden of command. I think I'm going to pay the ultimate price." "You're going to pay?" Pip asked, eyes wide. "Can I have your desk?" "Shut up, Paddlefoot," Blythe hissed, then resumed his moan. "I'm appointing you, Sterling, as acting base commander. And Paddlefoot, heaven help us, you are the acting executive officer." Jax frowned. "Me? Behind a desk? I'm a Star Salt skipper, sir. I belong out there, dodging asteroids and avoiding paperwork." "It's an order," Blythe shouted, then immediately clutched his stomach. "Now, get out. Go to my office. Rule with an iron. Or whatever kind of hand you have." Now, as Jax and Pip left, Blythe turned to Flint with a wicked grin. "By the time Marshal Thorne arrives, Sterling will be court-martialed, and I'll be back in command with a clean slate." Chapter 3. The Sultan and the Laser Drill. Sterling's first hour in command was a masterpiece of chaos. Within 60 minutes, he had authorized a morale luau on the main landing pad and redirected the base's power to run a giant Margarita machine. But the real trouble began when the Sultan of Nebula 5 arrived. The Sultan was a man of immense wealth and even immenser pride, traveling with his 3 daughters, the princesses of the star clouds. He arrived just as Jax was trying to figure out why the base's plumbing was humming a jaunty tune. "Greetings, O exalted one," Jax said, trying to remember the diplomatic protocols Pip had scribbled on a napkin. "Welcome to Sector 7. This is Lieutenant Pip. He's mostly harmless." Pip, meanwhile, had fallen instantly in love with the youngest princess, Siri. In the tradition of Nebula 5, dating was forbidden unless the suitor could prove his prowess with a weapon. "Sir," Pip whispered to Jax, "I need to impress her. I promised her a tour of the Star Skipper 73. "Are you crazy?" Jax hissed. "The Sultan will have our heads if you touch his daughters. And Marshal Thorne is due any minute." But Pip was already gone. To stall the Sultan, Jax invited him to steer the moon base's defensive platform. It was like giving a toddler the keys to a nuclear silo. Meanwhile, down at the docks, Pip was attempting to show off the ship's laser cannon. "Now, men," Pip told the crew, who were watching with morbid curiosity. "In OCS, I was the top of my class in dismantling the Mark IV pulsar cannon, blindfolded." "Don't do it, Pip," shouted the ship's cook. "Nonsense." Pip tied a bandana around his eyes. "First, we disengage the thermocoupler. Then, we unlock the firing pin." Clang. The laser cannon didn't dismantle. Instead, it fired a low-power beam that bounced off a reflective buoy, zipped across the lagoon, and vaporized Commodore Blythe's favorite sun umbrella, where he was secretly watching from the hospital balcony. "He's trying to kill me!" Chapter 4. The Nitrogen Laugh. By the next morning, Commodore Blythe had recovered enough to initiate a fitness board hearing against Lieutenant Pip. He wanted Pip drummed out of the service, which would effectively end Sterling's command. "I'll have him broken down to a grade 1 janitor," Blythe cackled in his office. Jack Sterling, however, had spent the night in the ship's lab with his crew. They knew Blythe was allergic to the goldenrod flowers that grew on the islands, but they had a better plan. Laughing gas, Jax whispered, holding up a canisters of medical-grade nitrous oxide they'd borrowed from the dental wing. If Blythe is in a good mood, he'll forgive Pip. If he's too happy, the fitness board will think he's the one who's lost his mind. The plan was simple. Pump the gas through the ventilation during the hearing. As the Grand Marshal Thorne arrived, a man who looked like he had been carved out of granite, the hearing began. Blythe was prepared to present a list of Pip's failures, including the accidental torpedoing of a garbage scow. Marshal? Blythe began, his voice trembling with suppressed rage. This officer, Paddlefoot, is a menace. He thinks a laser cannon is a toy. Jax signaled the crew. The gas hissed into the room. Blythe's face suddenly twitched. A small, involuntary giggle escaped his lips. He torpedoed a garbage scow. He thought it was an enemy sub, camouflaged with potato peels. Grand Marshal Thorne stared, unblinking. You find military incompetence amusing, Commodore? It's a riot, Blythe shouted, now howling with laughter. And Pip, Chucky-Wucky Pip, he's so cute when he's failing. Oh, I love this base. I love everyone. Blythe began to dance around the office, tossing requisition forms into the air like confetti. He grabbed the marshal's hand. Let's go on a picnic, Iron Pants. We can wear garter belts and eat pineapple. Thorne turned to Jax. Is your commanding officer always like this? Stress, sir, Jax said solemnly. He's been having these hallucinations. He thinks he sees hula girls in the air raid shelters. I do see them, Blythe shrieked, doubled over with laughter. They're in the laundry room. They're everywhere. Ha ha ha, Marshal Thorne sighed, scratching a note in his ledger. The Commodore is clearly suffering from Sector 7 madness. The fitness board is cancelled. Paddlefoot, you're off the hook. Sterling, keep an eye on this man before he tries to marry a palm tree. Chapter 5. The Reptilian Retriever. Just as the gas wore off and Blythe was placed under a 2-4-hour sedative, a new crisis emerged. The moon base's payroll 62,000 galactic credits in unmarked chips had arrived, and just as quickly, it had disappeared. Pip had been tasked with carrying the bag from the transport pad to the vault. Along the way, he had encountered the base's unofficial mascot, Snappy, a bioluminescent space croc that lived in the ventilation shafts. He ate it, Pip whimpered, standing in Jax's quarters. Snappy ate the payroll and the Commodore's wallet. He ate 62,000 credits? Jax rubbed his temples. Pip, if we don't find that money, the Grand Marshal will have us all in the spice mines by dinner. Blythe, hearing rumors of the lost money, suddenly recovered from his sedation. He saw an opportunity. If he could prove Sterling's crew had stolen the money, he could win back Thorne's respect. Search the ship, Blythe ordered his guards. Search the lagoon. I want that money, or I want Sterling's head. The search was frantic. The crew of the 73 spent the night wading through the blue marshes, calling for Snappy. Here, Snappy, Pip called, holding out a peanut butter sandwich. Suddenly, the space croc emerged from the reeds. In its mouth was a leather bag, dripping with swamp water. But before they could grab it, Blythe and his guards arrived. Aha, Blythe shouted. Caught you with the evidence. You were using that beast to hide the loot. It's not what it looks like, sir, Pip cried. The croc is a witness. He's a victim of circumstance. Chapter 6. The Trial of the Century. The Grand Marshal sat on the judge's bench in the base's hangar. In front of him stood Jack Sterling, Pip Paddlefoot, and a 6-foot-long, glowing alligator on a leash. Commodore Blythe, the Marshal said, his voice echoing in the vast space. You are accusing these men of using a reptile to embezzle the base payroll? Yes, sir, Blythe barked. It's a classic shell game. They put the money in the croc hides in the swamp, and they retrieve it after I leave. Jack stepped forward. Marshal, if I may. The defense calls Snappy to the stand. The hangar fell silent. The space croc let out a low, guttural hiss. Pip, Jax nodded. Pip held up a peanut butter sandwich. Snappy's eyes glowed brighter. With a sudden gulp, the croc opened its jaws. It didn't cough up the money. Instead, it let out a massive burp, and a single item fluttered to the floor. It was Commodore Blythe's ID card. Wait. The marshal leaned forward. Commodore, why was your personal identification inside the stomach of a base mascot? Blythe stammered. I was trying to bait the trap. I dropped my wallet to see if they would take it. So you used government property, a base mascot, to engage in a personal vendetta? Thorne's eyes narrowed. And where is the payroll? Just then, a loud wah sounded from the back of the hangar. The crew had brought in the base's ceremonial cannon, the one Pip had repaired earlier. Sir, Pip shouted. I think I know where it is. He shoved a cleaning rod into the cannon's barrel and gave it a hard yank. A canvas bag flew out, hitting the floor with a heavy thud. Chips spilled out everywhere. The crook stashed it in the cannon, Blythe yelled. See? I told you. Actually, sir, Jack said calmly. The cannon is where the automated vacuum system deposits lost items found in the ventilation shafts. The croc must have dropped it down a vent. The Grand Marshal stood up. Commodore Blythe, your incompetence has reached legendary proportions. You faked an illness, you hallucinated under the influence of gas, and you tried to court-martial an alligator. But Blythe started. Enough, Thorne barked. Sterling, you and your crew are dismissed. Puddlefoot, stay away from the laser cannons. And Blythe, I'm recommending you for a transfer. There's a weather station on the dark side of Sector 9 that needs a new commander. Epilogue. Full speed ahead. As the Grand Marshal's shuttle disappeared into the cobalt clouds, Jack Sterling stood on the deck of the Star Skipper 73. Pip was sitting on a crate, feeding the last of his peanut butter sandwich to Snappy. You know, Skip, I think I'm going to miss the Commodore. Don't worry. Pip, Jax grinned, cracking open a celebratory bottle of smuggled champagne. The new Commodore arrives tomorrow, and I hear he's even more high-strung than the last one. In the distance, the Margarita machine began to hum. The Azure Archipelago was at peace, or at least the closest thing to peace it would ever know. To Sector 7, Jax toasted, the neon lights of the floating islands reflecting in his eyes, where the rules are made up and the payroll is always one burp away. Pip raised his glass. Wowie, wow, wow, skip, wowie, wow, wow. The end. The Buccaneers of Blue Lagoon. Chapter 1. The Ulcer of Authority. Commodore Silas. Sourpuss Vane did not possess a soul. He possessed a collection of high-functioning ulcers that took turns vibrating whenever Captain Julian Joker Thorne breathed the same air. Vane's office, situated on the highest peak of the rock, a private military outpost in the middle of the Cerulean Sea, was a monument to bureaucratic perfection, or at least it would have been if Thorne's sea dogs hadn't turned the base into a tropical resort. Wow, wow, wow.